Wow. Hey, everybody. 8 o'clock on the 5th of June. Welcome, everyone. Scuffed Epoch. I am Drift Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, on this fine Thursday evening, where it is here in the UK. Whether you're watching live or you're watching later, don't forget there is a Discord. And you can find the join link in the description. So that's the main thing. And hello, Apolloni. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Thurnicar, Battle Cruiser Operational. Hello, Full Dive Media. I'm doing great. I hope you're all doing fine. Hello, 5 Facts About. Welcome to the show. I'm not sure if you're a first-time speaker or a first-time watcher, but thanks for joining. Hello, Dragon Diffusion. Good to see you. Good to see you. Something about cloaking devices. Electronic music. Haven't seen you for a while. Good times. And yeah, let's get into it. So tonight we're going to be doing a bit of a writer's special with Sonnet 4, but I always like to keep everybody happy with the variety show here. So we've got a bit of a front-loaded comfy feature. We're going to take a quick look at my new video model trained on WAN 14B T2V. We got 2 trains. And this is yours truly. I trained it on myself and I'm not in the video. Isn't that funny? It's about 17 years old and you can find it on YouTube. And I actually do this trick that you see right here. That's actually legit. Look at that. Ready? Oh yeah. Look at that skill. So anyway, video of skater style. Man wearing inline skates is doing tricks. Scene appears to be real life found footage. Now, the style train only got 1 epoch, so it's very model heavy. But this means it's managed to form like a textual inversion type LoRa, which doesn't really look anything like the training data, but it's managed to make the LoRa obsessed with this idea of rollerblading. Now, you will get the occasional quad skate, and actually if you ask for quad skates, you'll get quad skates, because I tagged skater style. That's the tag, skater, okay? And already other people have submitted nice. Look at this. Someone made this 720p. And look, she tries to do an inline skating grind. So good. Macchio. So anyway, that's quite funny. And there she is again doing 360s. Because everybody knows the 360 is... Surprised she didn't try to do like a hardcore royale. Anyway... So, that's that. But, what's this? The interesting between the two are so interesting. So, style and effective training settings, which do you like more? Well, let's give them a response. The style at Epoch 1 gives an effective textual inversion function where the trigger will draw out the base model knowledge. Is there like a space between? No, it just looks weird. The model knowledge. Okay. The effect is far closer to ground truth, which is all SD 360p footage from sort of 2008-ish. Yeah. We use one caption for all clips in the V0 train. Yep, there it is. I hope that covers that. But like I said, I've got lots more. I uploaded loads more into the effect. So let's take a look at those. So we have this one. And these pretty much came out in order. There were some nasty ones which I didn't bother. This one looks really good. This one almost looks like I actually filmed that. Some guy comes up, maybe a bit slow, spins and then misses. That's very common. Spins to grind and doesn't make it. That's actually very realistic. Okay. It's got this lovely SD look to it as well. Even though it doesn't make any sense. Some of these, oh, is that all? Oh, I uploaded the same clip twice. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. He just did like a 720 on the spot. I actually knew a guy who could do that. What? That was mad gap. Check it out. He literally flew. So this is actually pretty legit. Every now and then, right, it'll look like he's actually on a skateboard, but he's got rollerblades. So what we've managed to do is, because if you actually look at the body position, the form, he's on rollerblades, but then look, whenever his feet aren't visible, he's got like a skateboarder pose, like he's about to ollie or something. It's just something I noticed. So he's just kind of floating around. It's so good. I used to film this. I filmed this for like 10 years. Producing a lot of content. And this is actually kind of funny. Because the thing is, there aren't many models that are trained on rollerblading, because it's like, oh! Do you know what we should do? We should train a model that just does falls, you know? Because I've got the footage. I've got thousands of videos, right? So I could go out and get falls. I could just train the model on me eating it, and then train a special Laura, which is just rollerblading falls, rollerblading bails, right? And see how accurate we can get it. This one's great. Go on, mate. You can do it. Oh. Love it. But yeah, some of them are just like physics defying. Some of them look so real. This blurriness makes it so real. Okay. So that would be DJZ Inline Skater V0 Effect. So this one was trained with the Effect preset. This one was trained with the Style preset. We trained them both to Epoch 1. And I only used that with the new Caption Route V2. So I downloaded the video from one of my old YouTubes. It was like a 1-year edit. It's like 5 or 6 minutes long. I downloaded it. I segmented it with Segmenter CLI. These are all tools on my GitHub. And then I used the Caption Route, which now works with video, and captioned all the files with this. So they all have the exact same thing, right? It's just a loose open prompt. The problem is it doesn't actually tag like whether it's inside, outside, all that sort of thing. But what it shows is that you can very quickly get a video train just off the ground. And I think this one cost me $3.50. So it wasn't even expensive. It's actually cheaper to train WAN than it is to train Flux. Okay? So it might not be like accurate 100% to the data set, but I think we can do the same thing that we did with Empire and Sharona with video, by just making the captions better and the formula better and eventually getting closer. Because right now we're only doing style, but it's all me. The video is just me. Now my outfit changes, so it might get a bit tricky, but I reckon there's a route there. So I'll do another couple of caption sessions when I get time. We'll come back to that. Now, in case you're wondering, what happened to Null Command? Well, Null Command's on the shelf tonight because I've been working all day and I didn't get a chance to do the sprite. I didn't do the sprite stuff, bottom line. But it don't matter because I got something else to show you. So let me just download it. So yeah, we've been bringing out all kinds of new stuff lately, guys, like I say. But I found a resource, and everybody's been going on about this context stuff, right? Everyone's been going on about this context thing. So what I'm going to do, give me 2 seconds. I'm just loading up this workflow, if I can find it. It's around here somewhere. Skater boy. But yeah, that skating thing was a lot of fun. See, every now and then I just suddenly go, hang on a minute. I can turn my old YouTube content into Laura's. This is going to get out of control. I'm just warning you now. Like, literally, I thought it was bad when I was training image models. But the reality is that I didn't actually have much image content. All my content's in video. I'll admit, a lot of it is like video games. But there's a lot of like one-off things that I've done over the years. Oh, there's a lot of them. Yeah. I think the rollerblading falls is going to be the next one though. But I think we'll use the first video to really get the caption training thing down. So yeah, give us a sec. God, what the hell workflow is this? This is ancient. What the heck's this? Why is there a result URL for Black Forest Labs in my dual clip loader? What? Who's been spitting API requests in my dual clip loaders? Was it one of you guys? I'm blaming chat today. Let's have a look at this. So, Fernicar says, interesting. So it seems there'll be no problem when running backwards, unlike cars. Yeah, in fact, there were a couple of videos that came out. I do want to show you the results before we really get into this new workflow. Let me just pull them up, actually, because that actually gives me the time to get this other thing ready. See, what I didn't tell you is that I've actually been at it. So, you know, the videos that are on that demo, you know, you can only put like 20 videos up, and I was on my laptop, so I couldn't really pick the best ones. I just thought, these ones look good. We'll put them up, right? So here, let me show you this. So if I just go type, start him. So this would be numero uno. And then I'm just going to get the rest. We're going to do a mini skate video. I should have changed the track, shouldn't I? How long is this track? Give me a sec. It's like 3 minutes. Concrete rows. It's pretty solid. All right. And then I'll disappear. Do, do, do. Do, do. So, it's on loop 1, isn't it? Is it on loop 1? Yeah. Take it off loop 1, dummy. Okay. Right, now then, where was I? Oi! Photobombing the stream. Because I gotta, like, download the nodes and everything. Is it still doing the same video? No, it's not. Oh, wow, that was a really good one. Why has he got girls' tights on? Oh, man. That was pretty smooth. Oh, he did some kind of flip. Oh, what the? Knee slide, gravity, what? Reality bending ramps. Some of these videos are actually really good. I think I'm just going to like put this to music and shove it up on the main channel. Whoa! That was spectacular. See, I haven't even been doing any tricky prompts. I'm just literally testing my base caption. It looks really good, except for like the physics breaking stuff, but that's funny. What? Sure. Yo! Oh no, half the screen's gone. It's censored. It's too hot for YouTube. Oh, look at that airtime. Whoa, that actually looked a bit like me there for a second there. Whoa, so you can milk me out of the model if you run enough generations. That slow motion air was exactly like one of, yeah, there's a slow motion shot in the video. So it did actually do it. I guess you just have to know what to, well, it's luck, I guess. Look, it wasn't that like a skateboard? It was like a skateboard. Hang on, I need to go back. I just noticed that when he goes down the ramp at first, it doesn't look right. It looks like he's just on a deck. He has got rollerblades on, but they're not pointing right. And then when he gets to the bottom, he just goes to backwards, which is like a thing that you know, you figure out. But yeah, this is glorious. If it will actually, it won't let me do frame by frame. Oh no, it's like half a video again. Right, I need to concentrate. It's too distracting because the footage is actually not bad. See, all I need to do is the upscale VHS and all of that nonsense, and it's basically content, dude. So you could run a rollerblading channel, you're like AI extreme sports bales. It's like just guys racking handrails. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the sort of thing that people just watch endlessly, and it's essentially just random content. It's really blurry, you can't really see. Whoa! Oh, the physics-defying stuff is great. Whoa! So yeah, this is probably going to go down as like one of my best video Lauras at the moment. It's not like good for accuracy or anything, but I think the movement that it... Yeah, just a casual backflip 180. So Dragon says, Drift, we need to modify the LoRa dataset validator, which was working a treat. Do video datasets now. Interesting. I would love to take a look at that sometime. I don't think we've got time tonight, but I would love to take a look at something like that. Do I remember the game 720? No, but I remember Chris Edwards' Aggressive Skater, which is probably about... Oh, wait, there was another Skywalker. But yeah, there's been a couple of good rollerblading games over the years. Most people just do it for fitness nowadays, though, you know. But yeah, I used to do a lot of filming and whatnot. Right. Download the thing. So what I've done is I've built something called Context Canvas or Canvas Context Pro. I don't really care which you want to pay. It's got a capital K. And it's using Enrico's nodes, which we used a long time ago. So I'm just reinstalling them. And once they're reinstalled, I will slide Comfy back into the screen. See what I mean? He's wearing girls' tights, this one. Whoa. I asked for baggy clothes in the prompt, by the way, but I'm not allowed. Some of the flips are... Oh, he landed on his knees. The back flip to knee slide, that's not going to be good. You'd need to be wearing some big padding. Whoa, how did he do it? How does he do it? They're just ninjas. Ninjas with wheels. Just getting his... Just because the thing is, right, he'll get speed from nowhere. Just suddenly he's doing like full speed after like nothing. That's the only thing that doesn't make sense, you know? It's like breaks physics from like, where did the energy come from? I guess they could be electric, right? We could have like electric wheels now. I don't know. You'd think that would work until you realize that they would break every 5 minutes. Oh! Damn, that is my doppelganger, that one. Whoa! How did he do that? So yeah, I reckon with a bit of VHS and upscale, we can actually get this looking even better. But this is like a beautiful starting point. Just put it to some like drum and bass and or ska. Alright. Are we back in business, or is Comfy still having a fit? Oh. Oh. We're doing PyTorch load, guys. It's coming. But yeah, effectively what it does is really cool. Rolling. Hey, Zanelli denies. I see you're also a man of culture. Do you know what? Because you just brought it up, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something real quick. And wouldn't it be funny if YouTube did me for copyright on my own channel? Wouldn't that be funny? Let's see. Is that it? Yeah. I think there might actually be like another one, which is even bigger. Yeah. 110,000 views. Do you want to check out one of my old bangers from 17 years ago? Rolling. This one's going out for you, Zanelli. Right. Where is it? Bring it over. I'm just bringing it over, guys. Okay, here it comes. Well, come on. Move it across. There. 17 years ago. That when YouTube was just for free. Just did it for the fun. So that one would be me laying out porn stars, because that is a trick name. The alley-oop porn stars. Yeah, like I say, this is PlayStation 2. Where's the thing? 110,000 views. Not bad. But then it was 17 years ago, so... yeah, it's funny. Look at the quality that we used to get. We'd be like, oh man, the game's got amazing graphics. It's 360p. It's funny. But yeah, it was actually a really good game. It's a bit like Tony Hawk's, just rollerblades. That's why it was good. They didn't try to make it fancy or do anything, you know. It was just literally Tony Hawk's with rollerblades. Good times, you know. Literally. Fernicar says... the prompt that features a woman had to get the woman from the model right, since there was no woman in the training set. I think I might have lost the context for that one there, Fernicar. Sorry, I was deep in the aside there. Amazing music. Yeah, a lot of these games, they tend to have a really good soundtrack because they're sort of keying into that culture. Right, do we have a thing yet, or am I getting scammed? Comfy. So, while I am going to be using the API, you can obviously connect it up to your favorite pipeline. We're just waiting. Oh my God, why does it take so long? Aha, there we go. We're here. So now I can actually get it ready. Okay, so that's clear. Let's get rid of that there. Let's get rid of that there. All right. That looks good. And then I just need to... let me just put this project name in real quick. Prim. I need a primitive. Literally, I half built the workflow just before the stream started, so you'll have to forgive me. Excuse me. Let's see, have I got all the save nodes now? Yeah, I got all the ones I'm using. Yeah, I think... oh no, there's one left. Okay, I think we're just about ready to bring it up. There we go. Right, and then, like I said, I'm front-loading the show with Comfy and everything else, so that when we get in deep and into the vibes, we don't have to worry about the time. So yeah, let's just kill the video. Kill the video. I'm coming back. Hello. Woman in the roller, someone published in Lord's page. Oh, I see. Oh, the woman in rollerblades. I see. Yes. I know what you mean. Yes, I think that would have been a woman in the model. Yeah, because obviously I didn't even train any women at all. Correct. Because it was all trained on me. Now I understand what you're talking about. Yep, 100%. You're correct. Did I play Cool Borders 2? Yes, I did. But I actually preferred 1080 degree snowboarding on Nintendo 64. I thought it was the superior game. Although I enjoy them both. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying either are bad. I just preferred, like, the snow simulation was better in 1080 snowboarders. It was kind of like a different... it was a little bit different, the way the physics worked. It had, like, powder simulation and stuff. But different game, really, you know? Right. But yeah. Everybody I knew preferred the other game, and no one... it was like back then, we were like, what the hell is 1080 snowboarding? Because not a lot of people actually had... yeah. So, let's bring in the star of the show. And we'll kill all of this stuff up here. Hello, everybody. This is Canvas Context Pro. So what it is a modified version of the Enrico's node. So if you want to get this, obviously it'll come up as an install missing node, but just so you know, and to give full credit, this wouldn't be possible without Enrico's nodes. And we're using his V3 template workflow combined with some of my stuff, which is why I've still got his method up here, up top, which shows how you can you can use like a different model to do this, right? So you don't have to use the API, but this is a neat use for the API, right? So for the longest time, we've been creating all of these characters and backgrounds and all this jazz, right? And so, you know, this provides a neat and easy way to actually composite scenes, which you can then go ahead and put into your video image to video, right? Or creating frames. You can have the thing here, move it to here, start, end, walk character moves from left to right. Lots of things that you can do with this, okay? But the main thing is being able to put one or more items in as movable, scalable, rotatable layers, and it's all done with this canvas down bottom, right? So again, this isn't like a new thing. This has been out forever. All I'm doing is I'm combining it neatly with the context, right? But you just plug it into here, guys, and it's you can use SD15, SDXL, Flux. You know, you can use whatever you want. Obviously, if you have your own workflow that you would prefer, see this is self-encapsulated up here. So that is completely swappable with whatever you are wanting to use, but it does need to support a depth control net. So right now, this is defaulting with an SD15 setup. So I've left it here because that's like maximum compatibility. But obviously, if you have an SDXL control net, you can just change this up. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's the same sort of workflow to get it working, right? But what I'm saying is you can just swap this out, obviously image into the depth, right? And prompt it, you're good to go, right? So just pointing that out before we continue. Saying that though, it's actually really cheap, guys. I can't believe how cheap it is. Anyway, it should be more expensive, but I don't want to say that because they'll put the prices up and you'll blame me. Oh, also, I got a cool little convenience tip which I like, and if I didn't have thousands of workflows already, I'd go back and actually put it into every single one. It's called the bookmark, and I'm going to look at that real quick before we actually do anything else. It's in RG3, which you should have if you do not. Short key cut 1. I'm going to put this as a top left screen anchor. When I push 1, it's going to go there, look. So let's just put it to 0.5, 1. Maybe a little bit more. 0.1, a little bit more. Does it not go back anymore? Okay, that's as far as it goes. That's all right. So the idea is you can put bookmarks around the screen. I could have sworn you could go down smaller than that, but whatever. So yeah, the idea is you can't get lost. You can quickly get back to a specific point at a specific zoom very quickly. I like it. I wish everybody used it. I wish it was like a default thing, actually. You know, in Command and Conquer, you press H and it takes you back to the control, you know, build construction yard. Because sometimes you get workflows and you're like, like it's like this. And you're like, where the hell is it? And it is actually there. So I wish there was like maybe there is a shortcut. Let me know in the comments. Regardless, let me show you this thing's features. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab, really I need like a plain background. Do I have a folder I can use? Tower has it. Right. Tower has it. Maybe at the end. Okay, so there's a background, right? So I put the background in. It's currently 2912 by 1632, so it's a decent size, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and try to find myself a decent Sharona if I'm lucky. Oh, we've only got, okay, we got character V3. That's good enough. So we'll go for character V3. We'll get one that's not too derpy looking because no face swapping or anything has been done. That's 1456 by 18. Right, cool. So I've built in a flip, which you disable if you don't need. What's going to happen is it's going to RemBG the person and then give it to us as a layer. Okay, very simple, right? Now, what I would recommend doing is turning off the generation layers like canvas, because obviously this one's an API, right? So I would turn off context canvas there, because I don't, you know, it's got a preview for what it's going to make, because it hasn't done it yet. But yeah, so anyway, what you do is you click a little button at the bottom. You can barely see it, but it is there. This is massive because I was working in 4K. It should make it a bit smaller. There we go, it made it a bit smaller. Right. So, right, if I just go here, now you see what it's done for me. Check it out. So, let's say I want to do a scene where Sharona, I wonder if it'll give me the feedback. Let's find out. Let's see if we can put her, I mean, how big would that be? She'd probably needs to be even smaller, actually. This is quite a big room. I want to know if it'll give her feedback. That's still too big, isn't it? She's so small. I hope I don't break it, because it's just... it needs to be smaller. So yeah, we're going to put her there. And then I'm going to say in the prompt... a woman in orange, a woman wearing an orange outfit is walking towards the camera from very far away between the buildings in the town square? Question mark? Right? Because basically I'm happy with that. That's good. Now what I've done is I've made it save the canvas so that, you know, you actually have a backup of what you made. And what we're going to do is so simple, guys. As I say, if you don't use the API, you can plug it into any workflow, which is a depth text-to-image workflow, right? Right. So as you can see here, a woman wearing an orange outfit is walking towards the camera from very far away between the buildings in the town square. So, or I'll say a distant woman, or the distant figure of a woman. That's even better, because I just want to make sure it doesn't go nuts, because it can do anything at once, guys. The distant figure of a woman. I should say the small distant figure. This is like, you can use this in a lot of ways, by the way. You can actually do all kinds of stuff like, oh, put this here and do that and the other. But I'm not looking at that. Everyone's looked at that. So I want to look at using it for this, which is nice because it's got a universal fallback to local, which is cool. But anyway, so we'll show you what else we can do with it in a minute. So 16 to 9. I'm doing 32 steps with 3 guidance. I'm not using prompt upsampling because it will do all manner of chaos. So let's just run it. Save the workflow. Might be too late. Oh boy. Okay, I think I got away with it. Why is it? There you go. So it gives you a URL. Oh, guess what? That's so cool. There she is. She's a blob, but there she is. It didn't actually follow the specific... I should have actually mentioned what was there. Ah, well. It doesn't matter, because my next iteration, we will make her larger. Should make her like... She's almost at the camera. Whoops. So middle mouse button is to zoom in and zoom out. You click on them to move them around and drag them. There is a small UI. You can just about make it out. If you put your mouse over there, you can do rotation. And then obviously you can drag it out. And then you can also twist and do all that nonsense as well. I probably messed it up now, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Save it. Now, sometimes I find you have to save it and refresh it because sometimes it'll crash. I think it's something to do with the way this canvas works, which is another reason why I save a copy every time. Maybe it'll do it now and I'll be able to show you. There's a square under a minus button. It means nothing to me. Oh, I forgot to change the prompt. So obviously with that prompt, look, oh, we got a little bit more of the town square with the portal above it and stuff. So there, we've ended up with a reverse shot, guys. See, I would actually take this image out and then upscale it with my LoRa attached and re-describe it. You could enhance or restore the scene. And we're actually getting like multi-angles of this, even though the quality's sort of gone. But that's okay, like I say, this is not upscaled, right? It's rough. So how about we take away the small distance, and we say a woman wearing, oh, it deleted completely the opposite of the line. A woman wearing an orange outfit is walking towards the camera, just walking towards the camera. A little bit of prompt editing. Hopefully if the canvas doesn't crash, should go a long way. And there's a lot more you can do with this, of course. We could generate her a hat, put the hat on her, you know. Well, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this. I know that context allows you to literally just prompt, put a hat on the woman. But this allows us to actually use the exact things that we want, you know. Even though at the moment the background's being a bit of a dick. I think it's because I'm not actually describing the background. Let's just think about this for a second. So this, okay, so it's actually a library. A massive scale library. Okay, so let's just do better here, shall we? So, woman wearing an orange outfit is walking towards the camera between the buildings. Okay, so actually she's not inside the town square at all. Is walking towards the camera inside a massive scale enchanted library with a keep in the center under a large green magical portal. There we go. So I'm just describing what's there, or I'm describing the composition. Let's make her a bit bigger. Now when I get this to actually work, guys, it's all about the prompt alignment. If I do my job right there, it'll either crash or it'll work. The square under the minus button at the bottom right of the comfy UI will home to the workflow. Wait a minute, you said what now? The minus button, the square button. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? Thousands of hours and I never clicked that. What are the other ones? What is it? Select mode, link. Oh yeah, see, you know, because it wasn't always there. It's probably been there for ages and I just ignore it. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Hey, chat comes in clutch again. It might sound simple, but I've never even, I don't use those. You know what I mean? I got a mouse wheel. Maybe there's a shortcut. Maybe somebody knows if there's a shortcut for fit view. Okay, so what are we looking at then? Hey! Do you know what? Because the thing is, what I'm thinking is, yeah, we can make rough estimations of scenes with our character. And yeah, they're rough, but we've got no LoRa loaded or anything, right? Because it's just an API. But we can go into image to image with our LoRa and correct triggers, and we can bring this back. And so then I can get novel angles, yeah, from, I guess you could call it context mining or something. Like, there are no situations where Sharona's in a magical library. It doesn't exist. So I've taken an image from another LoRa and combined the two, and then we end up with this rough comp. And then that rough comp can go into context with whatever it is I want. And I did say above, but, you know. With a keep in the center under a large, okay, let's say a stone, no, let's say a castle keep. What? Weird. With a castle keep. Which is below a large green portal which hangs ominously. Ominously glowing with runes and arcane symbols. Maybe if I word it a little bit differently, I might get a better, you know. I didn't really word it very well. I probably need to describe that she's even closer. So yeah, like I said, we're nearly done with Comfy, guys. I just wanted to show this workflow off. It's going to be going up into the API node section because it's like, you know, it's a canvas context. But obviously, it is universal. You can use this with anything. Thank you very much to Mr. Enrico. Top class. Okay. Like I said, we've been looking for something this for a while. You might notice that I had a second thing. And obviously, if you just have more of these and you plug them in, if you don't mute them, they will appear as additional layers which you can move, rotate, scale. Again, the scaling you can do with the thing. Oh, if you need to flip them, watch this. So we get the bottom right corner and just go all the way past. So there's flip. You see what I mean? So you can just do that. And then obviously you've already got the rotate. So let's take her right up to there. And then we will say, walking towards the camera, close up. It's still, that's weird, isn't it? It's still putting it on the wall. Hangs ominously. Which takes up the ceiling space. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be like, how do I get it to actually go up? I think it's just obsessed with it being a stained glass window for some reason. I mean, I can see why it might think it was, but like I said, what I'm looking at is it can make me new scenes and then I can decide what I want to do. But normally it's much closer than this. I don't know why it's... did I say something here to make it small? Like I said, I've been messing around with this all day with various different things. And it's very good. It's not changed. Oh, there we go. Ah, finally! Okay, we did it. She's not huge though. I don't know why she's so small. But it's actually pretty close. You've got to think, right, there's no LoRa training. There's no LoRa training. And this looks very much like the first image, like the style of the first image. It's rough, sure, but the upscale will save it. Wait, the shortcut is full stop? Bruh. You've just... Thank you, Dragon. That's so good. You can just press the full stop button. Does it work from the normal full stop button? Yes. Oh, it feels like Command and Conquer already. So anyway, like I said, what we did was we took an image and our character. Now, obviously, these would be generative images or assets that you've got. We've used RemBG and the Compositor V3 from Enrico nodes to place our character in the scene. Now, obviously, we could have just fed this into image to image as well, right? But I'm not talking about stuff we already know. I'm talking about, this is like kind of like a bit of an IP adapter in a way. And I wish I could have gotten better results for you guys, but I wanted to show you just something like, here you go, slap it together. Because it is very quick to set up, which is what's nice about it. Yeah, we're definitely publishing this workflow. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. So let me just give it a version. Let's call it V40 to keep it nice and clean. Save that. It's my pleasure, guys. Because like I said, this is just putting together some new stuff with some old stuff. And that's often all you need. New with old. Here, rename that. So obviously first place I'll put it will be the inside line. What's going on here? Looks like I fell asleep. Oh. That's weird. I already posted that. Okay. There we go. Right. So like I say, it's just Enrico's canvas, and then you can put that into... I'm using Context Max, but you could also use Context Pro. You know, it's up to you what you want to do. As far as my understanding was that Max took multi-image and Pro allowed you to do better image editing, but because I'm not saying replace the cat with a dog or something like that. That's what I believe Pro is best at. Now I think Max can still do that, but it's more focused on quality and text accuracy. So I decided for something like this, which is basically like a fancy image-to-image IP adapter API, this is probably better for Max than Pro. But, you know, your mileage may vary. You've got options for the two of them. And to be honest, this technique can work going into any node, right? So, for example... Oh, it's gone because I saved it. Oh, well. But yeah, I hope you get the idea. So obviously we use it with our existing image-to-image stuff. That's one way of doing it. And then obviously the other way is to feed the output from the canvas into ControlNet. So the 1.5 example is set up for depth. But I don't doubt Canny will work as well. And then obviously you can just put it into image-to-image to any normal local model. Or, as I say, we now have lots of API options open to us under the official API node. It's built in now. Oh, getting a bit close to me there. Can't really read it anymore. But yeah, there's loads of stuff here. There's even 3D. I've got workflows out for Tripo. Pretty good. So yeah. Published. We should probably add it to DJZ nodes as well while we're at it, right? Then you can just git clone it if you fancy doing it that way. Then you get all the workflows. Okay, so that would be that part of the show dealt with. Let's take a look at those comments. Is context better than Redux? I think you get I think you get slightly more granular level of control with context, but it feels like, you remember instruct pix to pix? It feels like that for Flux. That's what it feels like. But the real beauty is the conversation-based editing. And so that means that when you have this running in a contextual conversation, you should be able to get like novel editing abilities, right? The issue is that if you use the Black Forest Labs website, they don't allow you to do image in when you use context. You go into context on Max or Pro on their site, and I mean, unless it's like only a premium feature that you have to pay for. I mean, it looked like they give you a fully unrestricted trial, but they don't let you put an image in. Or they let you put one image in, not two, which is what everybody wants to do. And the thing I didn't show you was you can actually put a list. So, do you know what? I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we're nearly at the end of the segment, right? But if I just show you very quickly what I'm talking about. So let's just get away and have a look at this node. So here we have a node. This is the API node for Context Max. The one for Pro looks pretty much identical. You can do prompt upsampling if you want, but that means that when you're doing like tricky stuff, it's going to add extra words that may or may not impact the result negatively. So I don't tend to use it for the tricky stuff. Okay. Do you know what? Right. I just want to be able to run it quickly. Okay. So obviously if I said the cat has... Wait a minute. How about I just say a cat first? Let's just do something here quick. So preview node, go, a cat. Come on, let me type. Either I can't type or it won't let me. Do you know what? Let's do something funny here. I got an idea here. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think that'll do. Right then. There, right. Okay. Checking links real quick. There we go. Okay. So this will cost me about 25 cents. Let's see it go. Let's see it go. So first we get a cat. And then we'll get a cat wearing a hat. There we go, we got our cat. Step 1, complete. Now I want a cat wearing a hat. Cool, now I have a cat wearing a hat. You see? It's instruct pix to pix, guys. But for Flux. It's very clean, look at that. Now the hat is red. Look, see this? Isn't this amazing? This is why the API stuff is cool. Yeah, I know you have to pay for it. But it's 4 nodes. Not something... Okay, how can we get the cat out of this sticky situation? Has anybody got an idea? I'm just going to save those because they actually... that's probably the best live demo I've done on this. Okay. So again, do we all see now? That's the best... That's like the cleanest way I can explain it. A cat. The cat is wearing a hat. The hat is red. The hat is on fire. Context Pro. That I should clip that. Just clip that. That's the... What's Context Pro? Just clip that. So yeah, there it is, guys. And this is why I wanted to show you why this is so powerful, because you didn't need to do all of this in painting, out painting, masking, blah, 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 blah. It's just a chain of 4 nodes. And do you know what the funniest thing is? This is all on randomized seed, right? So, will it work twice? Will I get a completely new cat with a completely new hat, with a completely new, but with a red, same as that one? And then, let's see. Let's see how consistent it is. We have a cat. We have a hat. Ooh. The hat is red. We're in the end game now. Come on. I believe in you. I believe in you, Flux. There's not enough memory. I knew I'd break something before we ran the hour out. See, I won't let you down, guys. We broke Chrome with the power. That image was impressive. And do you know what the best thing is? It was a preview. So you're never going to see it again. You're never going to see that image again. Well, and you might, if you're clever and smart, you might be able to get it. You might be able to divine it. Yeah, exactly. I didn't download them all either. Do you know what I mean? Because it's too big, mate. What have I got to do? I need a terabyte back end to run image editing? Nah, I'll be okay. But like I said, the API is nice. It's reasonably priced. It's reasonably priced. If you look around, you'll pay more than that, actually, if you work it out. Obviously, older, cheaper stuff is cheaper, but yeah. Oh, that was great. Do you know what? I'm going to do one more. These are great. I'm going to actually change it to a save node, guys. I got to do it. I got like 60 seconds until the end of the hour. Call it a bonus. Whoops, I made too many. That's wasting time, see? And now I've run out of time. It's alright, it's not like a race or anything. Okay, so this is API nodes. No, wait. API nodes. Primitive. This is basically what I was doing a second ago before when you were watching those videos earlier. So I'll call it context, and it's going to be a flux, and then I'll just plug this into, plug it into all of them so they just get saved in a sequence with the same file name. So 1, 3, 4. That last one was really good. Okay, my project, I'm going to call it Cato Fire. Or Cato Fine, yeah. In case you don't know what the hell this is and you've never seen it before, it's one of my custom nodes that allows you to save everything in subfolders with these names, and then you can just change that, and that's the only thing you need to change. Typically I'll use the name of the workflow as the root, and then that's the main folder. And these are all subfolders and then that file name. So you can do all kinds of stuff. We can give them like different file names, different subfolders. It's a nice way to organize your outputs, and you don't end up with like a gajillion files in the output folder just lagging the hell out, which was an issue. So we're going to make this a proper workflow and release it, because even though it's simple to set up, you know, a demo is a demo. Say we've done, you know what, every now and then I think, man, I don't train as many models as I used to, and then I remember that actually in the last couple of weeks we've probably put out some of the best models we've ever done, and it's because of the video stuff, guys. Don't sleep on video model training. You can train LTX, you can train WAN, you can train Hunyan, and it's cheaper than training a Flux image model. So if you've ever trained a Flux image model and you found that to be agreeable, you'll have a great time. It's a lot like it used to be, you know. It's we're at that point where people can't get one-to-one yet. You know what I mean? They can't quite get one-to-one to ground truth, but they can get so close. And it's only a matter of time until we find either a good training recipe or a better training method. Either will get us there. Hey, Melting Province, welcome, welcome. So glad you could join. Oh really, so they're saying context dev weights might come soon, huh? Well, it'd be nice if we could run it locally, because then I could just do this on my computer, couldn't I? But for now, this is very convenient. So let's just change this title here. So this would be context chain prompt editing. Okay, and we are not 5 below 5 anymore. We live in the land of the scuffed. Scuffedepoch.com. And that means this is going to be wrong. Yeah. Look at all this admin. See, this is why I was going to avoid all of this stuff. I'm actually very lazy. Scuffedepoch.com. But no one believes me. Okay, let me see. Name your project. Cato Fine, API node, Scuffed Epoch, that's not the name here. This would be API nodes, chain demo, innit? Simple. This is actually quite funny. You could just make like little time lapses of these, you know. Let's see now. If I did a 2 second, no, if I did a 1, wait, boom, 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 boom. It needs to be on a half second. So half second. We've got 4 frames. That means 2 seconds per cat. So a 10-second video is 5. Okay. Let's just save this out real quick. Save as that. Export that. Right click. Export with the thing. Go to the file. Rename it. Rename it. Put it in the inside line. Put it on the API native folder. Okay, send it. Cool. Didn't I buy? Thought I bought some water up here. Suddenly, like, thirsty as hell. It's literally 6 minutes past coffee time. I'm like, wow, I'm pulling into the coffee dimension. Let me just see. I've got API nodes chain done. That is done. And we're going to do this. Now, what would be the cost, you might ask? Well, it's about 6 cents per go. So if we put in 0.06, yeah, 4 nodes, 5 runs, it's going to cost me $1.20. So I'm going to do what I always do. That is about 1.5 bananas for a nice 10-second run. It's going to be more than 10 seconds because I just realized I didn't change the folder name, so the other ones are... Oh no, wait, they weren't saved, were they? So it will be an empty folder. Okay. So then we let the API do its thing. And remember, we could have started with an image. We didn't have to start with a prompt. So I could, like, literally feed images of whatever I want in here and be like, whatever, wearing a hat. Now the hat is red. Now the hat is on fire. It's a kitten. Come on. Come on. Oh, poor thing. Don't worry, guys. No kittens were harmed in this because we used humane artificial. We used AI. That means it's humane special effects. So, for the record, we're not just trying to make cats on fire. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to show the versatility of the prompt editing. Now, it might actually be that it runs out of memory again. But here you go, right? It's literally, the prompt is a cat fed into the cat's wearing a hat, fed into the hat is red, and then the hat is on fire. Now, don't ask me why it just got rid of the hat and made the cat on fire, but I think you get the point. This is very reliable one shot, right? One shot, which I think is the big thing, really. The API can do it in one shot. You don't need to download loads of models. And so it's like, if you just need like one little bit of your workflow to use some cool thing, now think about it. Before, we had to split all of our workflows up because it's not possible to run really complex workflows. But when you're doing like bits of it with API, it doesn't take up any overhead. So now you can start like mixing and matching stuff. Do you know what I mean? You can like mix and match it to make completely new workflows that would be far too complicated and would require far too much compute to run locally. So I'm not going to like reel a speculation off because I'll end up building it and we got to move on. But as you can see, we are literally getting what we asked for. And obviously if I put in a more complex prompt, I'm going to get a more complex result. But things like add, replace, remove, swap, place, these are brilliant. It understands those operator words. And there's another trick I'm going to show you before we move on, because there is one more. There is one more. There is another. Dear oh dear. But I think this shows it off pretty good. I think you can, like, you know, there's a lot of... Oh, wait, what? Oh, it just happened to be red already. Okay, well, there was a chance that was going to happen in, you know, eventually. Right, so there is another thing. So what we'll do... See, I told you this would happen. It just end up becoming another workflow, right? But it's true. So combine... That's what we're here for most of the time. So this is why Writer's Room ends up getting pushed and pushed. It's not happening tomorrow, but we are doing it tonight. So API nodes combine demo. So this will be, let's just save it so we don't overwrite the last one real quick. Right, so API nodes combine demo v10. What do I mean by combine? Well, first of all, I'm going to use the Context Pro thing, because apparently it's better at this, even though they seem identical to me. You know, I'm just going on. That's what they say. I might change my mind once we've played with it more. But for now, this is true. So there's your save image. Right. So the difference with this one is we get to put some things into it. Now, we already know you can put an image in there, obviously. Okay, we already know that, but this is that whole context thing. So Impact Pack has a convenient make image batch, right? We're going to use the image load image. Now I've done up to 3. I've done up to 3 images so far. Okay, so 1 and 2, yeah. And we put them both in. Okay. It doesn't stop there either. But maybe I'll save that one for tomorrow. Maybe. You can do pseudo vase. But I'm not gonna... See, I keep saying I'm not gonna. And I'm gonna. But anyway, the point is... We're gonna get ourselves an image. Say we get Sharona. And then we're going to get, I don't know, something else like... I mean, I haven't tried doing 2 people. So maybe we'll try getting a person. Okay, maybe I'll take his armor, because this might work. This might work. This might work. Okay, so I'm going to say... combine... the images to make a single composition, single composition, full stop. Use the woman in the first image to wear the armor and weapon. I don't know how you wear a weapon, but wear the armor and weapon of the second image. And you could even have a third image for a background and say, use the third image for, you know, the scene. You know what I mean? So combine the images to make a single composition. Use the woman in the first image to wear, or use, make. I'll just say make. Make the woman in the first image wear the armor in the second. Now this doesn't 100%, guys. I'm going to say that straight away. It didn't work straight away. So, like I say, just make 1, please. Oh crap, it went in Kato, fine. What a dumbass. Combine. You never know what you're going to get. Oh, okay, it tried. That's not the right armor, but it is armor. It's the same. It's not the right. You know what I mean? The style ain't there, guys. And this is why I was like, it'll do it, but it's kind of like, oh look, actually, look, the sash is here, and she has her sash has gotten longer, is in the same place. It's not. It is different. I'm not going to deny it's different. Has she got a beard now? No. So, like I said, let's just save this one out real quick. Add it to the pack, because you know there's a lot to be said about settings and tweak. There's a lot to be said about settings. Oh crap! Settings, tweaking, all that kind of business. Save, 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 save. And yeah, so oh crap, not in the right folder. But there we go. So that's that one published. And like I said, I was going to move on, but I witnessed I've done that in 5 minutes or something, so I think we got time. It's very simple, image concat multi, so this doesn't actually take a second to do. So yeah, image concat multi. Oh, actually, we just need... No, if you don't have that, it's fine. Some people told me that sometimes they can't see this one for some reason. You can use this one, it's fine, but you can also use this one. It doesn't matter. You only got 2 things to play with here, right? So basically, one image, the first image, will go in the 1, and then another image, the second image, will go in the 2. And as you can see where this is going, I call this one the pseudo vase technique, because basically we're doing this. Wait for it. It produces a rather strange image size, which will get chopped off usually. But anyway, see, it's weird because I've got like, normally I put it for vertical, I would go left and right, and then for horizontal I'd go top and bottom, and you do that by just changing the right to down. But this one's weird because we've got vertical with 16:9. Do you know what I think might be actually a better idea at this point? I'm just going to try something real quick because I just had a funny thought. Black Bars V3 to the rescue. Set it to 16:9. Ooh. Now we're getting super pseudo vase. We're going to say 16:9 there. Oh boy. It's going to end up being a bit crazy. Okay, so before I just put it in, right? But I'm trying to experiment. Okay, and then there's one last bit here, which is size adjuster. V2. And we take the last image. And I want to pick, let's say, do you know what? It's been taking giant images, so I'm going to say cascade. And then we get a resize node real quick. I love how it's like, oh, and then this, and then this, and then this. Oh, I'll be finished in a minute. Whoa, height. There we go. And then we just put that there. Right, now I know that looks a bit confusing, but we're getting rid of this. So it's image resize, size adjuster. It's all a bit, yeah, let's put that down the bottom, and then we can go black bars, thingy, and update that to what it actually is. Okay, so let's see what that looks like now. Oh, that did something weird. What happened there? I put it on stretch, 64 cascade, Something strange has happened. Yeah, it's gotten skewed. I know I've got stretch here, but I don't know if I really want to do fill crop. Let's try it and see. Usually that's a safe bet, but it might crop the sides, which I don't want. Yeah, see, it cropped the sides. I don't want that. A video loader. Instead of a video loading mode, I'm using a random file loader. It extracts all the frames. Is there a way to extract a limited amount of frames? Yeah, there is actually. Yeah, we do it all the time. I think there's actually a recent workflow which we can show off if you want to see that, guys. I'll load one up in just a second, because we literally did one for sprites just recently, so I can show you all the good stuff. Okay. But yeah, like I said, if I can just fix this real quick and then we can move on. So yeah, I changed it to 16:9 by padding, and then I did a resize to bring it back down. I think I'm just not going to do that. I thought I'll make it smaller before it goes in there, but just whack it in there. So make the woman in the first image. Okay, so we can change that. The woman, what was it? Okay. A woman with white hair and an orange loincloth is wearing magical armor and holding a sword made entirely from arcane energy. I love that one. Arcane energy. That's come out twice in the same stream. Combine. Demo 30. What? Target 20 doesn't exist. I don't even know what he's talking about. What are you talking about, Willis? Has it got a problem with something? I guess it does. So let's see how this comes out. It should just be black around the two things like this. There you go. So let's see what it does. No idea what it's going to do. Ah, what? Hang on a minute. Say what, mate? It can't do it. I can't do it. All right, you can't do it. So, you know the things I just deleted? I need them back. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Size adjuster. Let's get it done. Resize. Image resize. Hook it up. Width to width. Height to height. Okay. In there, in there. I'm just going to cap it at SDXL, guys, because it's like, I don't know. This will do something. So I'm just going to cap it to 1 megapixel, but in a fancy way that, yeah. There you go. It's capped now. It's divisible by 64. It should be happy. Hopefully the tensors don't explode. And if they do, I'm not wasting any more time on this. Yeah, I'm not. Look at this. Can't convert CUDA device type. This works on my laptop, by the way, so I think this is just my own fault. But the basic idea is you put two images in and you put them together. There's lots of ways of doing that, yeah? So it's just like the vase idea, you know, you put a thing in there. I don't know, maybe I don't even know. I've got no idea why that's not working. See it again? Hell. It's almost like something's actually broken. Oh! God knows. Right, moving on. I'm not here to spend the rest of the show debugging. Yeah, I've got stuff to do. So, in the inside line, if we go back a couple of releases, we have something here called Sprite Master. Now, Sprite Master is a nice little example of what you guys were just asking about in the chat. I noticed you're all talking about image lists and batch loading and loading specific frames and all that stuff. So I thought maybe we'll spend a little bit of time on that real quick. I can see everybody wants to see that. And I think it's going to be a worthy use of time. So right here, I am extracting, you can forget the probe for now. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm using load video to open up a GIF file, and then I'm going to dump all the frames, and I'm also resizing them because they were slightly off size. They should have all been 128 by 128, but they were like 120 by 120 or something strange. Some of them had like a half pixel size, which was really weird. I'm pretty sure you can't do that. But the point is, you can see here, by default, let's just put like a video in. So there's a video. It's one of my art grids doing animation stuff, right? And as you can see, the nice thing is it tells you how many frames it has. So frame load cap is how many images it will actually, how many are in the thing that's loaded. Okay. Now, if you hook this up to whatever, it's going to put out a batch of length 409 because you didn't say cap it or not, right? So do you know what? Let's do some stuff with just this node. Okay. So obviously, you know, force rate is frame rate. So if I said here 16, now it's going to put out 16 frames per second. So let's just put a preview on it. How long is this animation? Is it like 20 minutes long? It's 109 frames. Okay, here we go. So this is going to make a 10 by 10 grid or thereabouts, showing all the images. Okay, and it will just be a big grid. And normally I avoid doing this because it'll lag the machine and all that nonsense. Okay, see what I mean? Oh my God. Stop lagging. Okay. It might look like a mess, but actually it's clean. Okay? Anyway. So what you were asking was, how does all of this stuff work? And it's actually quite interesting because, like I said, right now it's putting out 16 frames per second, right? Now, if I just put that to 0, see how the number of frames changed? So again, 8 frames per second, we only have 54 frames. At 16 frames per second, now we have 109 frames. At 30 frames per second, 204 frames. So that's how you know this is a 60 frame per second video. Okay? Because that's the only way. You see the note, if you don't put anything there, if you put 0, there are 409. That is actually how many frames there are. So if you pick any frame rate that's less than what it is, you're actually skipping frames. That's the first point. So it's not just select every nth. That is for the output as well. So, oh, and also let's just cover something else. So if I put this out, we're going to put out 409 frames. Okay. Yeah, don't worry, Point of Google. I'm just about to explain something about that, I think. So right now we're on 60 frames per second, yeah? And our frame load cap is 0. So it's going to do the whole thing. But if I set my frame load cap to 400, that means the last 9 frames don't get done. Yeah? Right? That's what that means. So if I only actually want 30 frames, so, you know, half a second. So let's say I want the first second. That's 60 frame cap. Okay. Now, if I was to say, well, I've already got the first second, I want the second second, I can put 60 here, and that's going to skip the first 60 frames, and then we'll get just the 60 frames from second 2. Okay. Okay. Oh, and in case you were wondering, I actually made a version because the meta batch allows you to separate it into smaller jobs as well, which is nice. I've also made a system so that you can control this and have it going up by math. So, you know, just for example, right, if we start at 0, we go for math, we go simple math, we get math, simple int, we get 2 of those, that's 0, this is 60, because this is the frame rate, and this is the index, so that's segment, right? So it's 0 times 60, A times B, A times B, gives us a float coming out, sorry, not a float, an integer, for skip frames. Okay, now anybody that's like programmable will notice that, yeah, you can also hook up this to frame cap and force rate. No, not force rate. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. You can hook it up to frame cap. So what this system gives you, minimize that, because they never need to change. Okay, and I just put that on top. Now obviously this, you have to manually do it, right? You have to manually do it, but you can actually get a seed. Is it RG3? No, it's not. Oh my god, what happened there? I've got a glitched node. That's weird. So, hold up. Yeah, there you go. Was nodes has a version of seed which outputs ints. So what you can actually do is, instead of having an index that you have to manually do, you can use that one and hook up the int to the A. Take that off. So now, what's going on here, yeah? What's going on here? Well, we're going to do that multiplied by FPS finds the skip. So you've now got automated segment control. You don't need to see any of that, you just need this. Okay? And you put this onto increment. Yeah, and now every job, it'll go up 1. So 2 times 60 is 120. So that gives you a programmatical step through control. So you can break it up like this, you know what I mean? This is what I do with folders, to step through folders and files, you see. But just like how I told you, if you change the force rate to 30, that's the same as doing skip 2. It's basically the same, but this is easier because it's doing skip on whatever's coming out of here, not making you do a bunch of math up here. So I think it's better to keep the native frame rate and then use skip nth. But you can do either, because obviously being able to do both offers you different combinations of options, right? So, but that's the long and short of it. Obviously, this is being used to step through 1 second, 60 frames at a time. So every time a job goes, it'll do 60 frames every time. 60 frames, 60 frames, 60 frames, until it gets to the end, okay? Now, I would mention that although this is cool, the last one often, you might have a, well, no, the last one just might not be a full 60, okay? It's probably still work, but this is cool and all, and you could do this with a lot of different nodes, but it's actually built in. You didn't need to do it because, I mean, obviously, if you're wanting to be like, oh, I didn't want the first, I didn't want the first minute of a video, you know what I mean? So, or whatever it is, the first 10 seconds. I want to start from, or I only want to do a 10 second chunk from 10 seconds in. Yeah, you do something like that. And then if I wanted to be like, oh, I only want to sample what every other frame, that's what you do that for. But there's something important which a lot of people mess up with the math, and that is that if I'm doing skip from 0, this is 300, it's always starting at 0, right? So like if I did, you know, like when I go like start at 300, it starts at 0 again. So if I'm doing like batches of 30 and I'm at 300, obviously there's only 30 in the batch, which is kind of important because when you're trying to do the math, you might think that the numbers, you know what I mean? The numbers, it's each batch is its own thing. There's no like continuity, if that makes sense. But the other thing you can do as well is with the meta batch manager, which is built in, okay? And so say you know your computer can handle 60 frames, which is what we've been doing here. You'd set that to 60, and then it's going to do it automatically. So you don't need to do that stuff. It's just going to split it into 10 jobs or however many for you, automatic. And you can also plug it into the combine if you're using video combine, not that, because typically with video we're using video combine. You can actually plug that meta batch in there as well. So like obviously if your computer's more robust and you can handle 120 or 240, obviously you can handle bigger chunks, but the whole idea is to break it up into chunks. And I use this method a lot with my special effects stuff because obviously did I make a slideshow node, or was it no, was it like an app? Hold up, I just want to do a demo now. I'm all about the demos, guys. Time waits for no man. Jeez. Okay, if I go into my thing here, I swear I've got like some kind of cool, weird, funky slideshow thing. Give me a sec. I can't remember what I called it now. Slideshow. Did I go past it? Oh, pardon me. Deep fried, man. Makes me hungry. Slideshow. Auto panel. Slideshow, baby. Shuffle video. Auto slideshow V2 CLI. Right, let's see what that looks like. I can't even remember. Do you guys remember? I don't even remember. Oi, stop updating. I'm trying to open folder. Alright, tools. Cato. Select. Git clone that. Readme. Just run the install, bro. CD auto. Install.bat. Oh, I get a virtual environment. Wait, why is there a V2 folder? I'm sure it's fine. So activate it. This looks like it will activate it. What do you want to do? Oh wow, it's got like a built-in control. It's got a built-in console menu. This is going to be great. All right. So I just need a path to all my cool images then, don't I? Hang on a sec. Let's just wait. I got a key for that. There we go. Why is everything's opening on the wrong screen today? Tragic. So let's see. We were using API nodes. We were doing Cato context. So there's my path. Copy that. And then we're waiting for number. Come on, number. We ain't got all night. Maybe we do have all night. I don't know. I'm British. There's no such thing as math. It's maths. I thought it was mathematics. Okay, cool. So, run bat. Run bat. See, you can do like a config and do an auto slideshow and all this, but I just, let's use the menu, right? So, create a basic slideshow. Create a slideshow with custom options. I like that. Create a new... What are the templates? What templates do we have? It crashed. It's a good sign. All right. Well, what about template? Oh yeah, I just did. See, I want to choose templates, so I just pick template without thinking about. Is that going to work? Enter the path to your images folder. There you go. Enter the output file name, Cato fine. .mp4. Enter the video duration in seconds. All right, how many images were there in the end? 21 images. Ah, that one should not be there. There we go. So we want it 10 seconds. Path to audio file. Give me a minute. I guess I'll just make something real quick. Hold up. Oh, wait. Hold up. Wow. 8 space. What's that? Oh, it's just nothing. Well, that's boring. Hold up, guys. I just need to raid Discord for one of my musical thingies. I'm pretty sure I put it in... There we go. There's one. We can just use that. Cool. There we go. Rename it to Popo, and then copy the path, paste it. It's going to be like way too long. Enter title text. Wow. This is... I hope you can do multi-words. Enable captions. I mean... No. Enable Ken Burns effect. Yeah, sure. Ah, it broke anyway. Wait, what? Enter transition type. Just say random. Oh my gosh. What's all this? AI designed craziness, you know? I think I used the config before. I'll just do that if it doesn't work. I'll just say none default. Aspect ratio is 16:9, baby. Oh wow, it didn't break. Look at that. Yes, Dragon's right. If you want to get keyframes, that's what the best thing for skip. So yeah. So say you want to get frames on 3s, 6s, or whatever it is you want. Yeah. Grab keyframes that way. That's pretty much how I do captioning for video as well, by the way. The trick is annotating it all in a way that doesn't double the comprehension. It's like an average. You have to average the tokens to stop it from doubling the words. But don't worry about that. I'm probably getting silly. So anyway, thank you for using Auto Slideshow Generator. So apparently we've got a thing now. I gotta look at it in the folder. Okay, here we go. I don't hear no music. Well, the music didn't work, but the slideshow's okay. It's also a bit slow. Why is it 2 minutes long? What? It should be 10 seconds long. I need to speed this thing up. Oh, I know. Playback speed. Here we go. Faster. No. Faster. Christ. I swear I just found it here. Hey. Still not fast enough. It needs to be like 10 times. 5 times faster? No, I don't know. It needs to be faster. Is that as fast as it gets? Faster. You damn machine. Why can't I just pick the speed? We're getting there. We're getting to a point of speed which is almost correct. Alright, guys. Flux context, everybody. So, we're going to get a cat. We're going to give it a hat. We're going to make it red. And then we're going to make it on fire. There you go. There's your demo. Good stuff, right? I think it was fun. And we didn't do any upscaling. We didn't do any in-painting. We didn't use any control net. It was 4 nodes. 4 nodes. Did it cost money? Yes. But like I say, you could do all of that with your own workflows, fully local. It would just take a little bit more fandangling. I prefer the ones where the hat is on fire and not the cat is on fire. I'll say that much. These ones are a little worrying. But when the hat's on fire, see, that's not cool. Anyway. Should we chuck that one in the Dubry section? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So that one is now in the video sharing section for everybody to see in its full glory. I'll close that now. We've made our slideshow. That was fun. Didn't take long. I'm going to make like a proper UI for this, I reckon. I think it's probably something worth doing. We're nearly out of time, guys. I'm super unhappy about this. But we did explain how we do this, which is more important. But we were supposed to spend a whole show writing. God damn it. But I don't think it's going to happen, guys. Because I've got 10 minutes until I run out of time. I wonder. I reckon we could still write a book before the show ends. Because I was thinking about Sharona Book 2. Yeah, let's think about that for a minute. So for this one, what I'm going to need is I'm going to need the new window for the old VS Code. I'm going to need to open a new folder. We're going to call it Sharona Book 2. I'll put it in the Tools folder. Sharona 2. Okay, now in order to write Sharona 2, I need to have done a few things with Sharona 1. So I wonder if I wrote that on this machine. This could kibosh the whole pincer maneuver. Let me see if I've got it here. Sharona Advanced. I think that's not even writing. Sharona Law. Sharona Book 1. Uno C4. Ah, so we've already reprocessed Sharona Book 1. Good, so we're actually at a good position then. Okay, so let me just grab all that. There we go. So now we have our Sharona bucket. Do you know what? Let's go out with a bang here. Let me see what I got for you guys. Silliness. We need some more silliness. That'll do. Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, what we've got here is we have Sharona. That's the story. That's the story. That's book one right there. It's not upscaled or anything. Making plan B could help. Yeah, true. The nature of AI is disruptive. Yeah, it's true. Like every day there's something else which I have to go on about. It derails. So it's almost like I can't really promise that I'm going to do something because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It used to be that we'd get a couple of days of breathing time, but now it's every day. So what I think is, if I go ahead, we need to summarize this to book one. So like, oh yeah, and then there's the plan as well. So we've got expansion Q&A. Hey guys, get out of here, get out of here. So yeah, there's like expansion Q&A. So this is like all the secret lore. There's the plan for the intro. So this is all outdated actually. I don't need to worry about that. I can probably just delete it. Uno custom text. Use Uno, think deeply. Oh wow. Think deeply. So I must have done an update for Claude 4. See what I mean? You like forget half the stuff that I do. No, I do need a couple up here, I think. There we go. So anyway, like I say, if I take these pages, I'm going to have to do a summarization. Okay, now I've already given out all the prompts I use for this, because essentially it's reading the story and writing a new file, which will go into here, because there's no book one summary. Page 5 OG. So that's the original page 5. Damn. Okay, well we don't need that anymore. So what I do need to do is go to my repo. Like I say, full information is up on the GitHub. So what you can do is you can go to the front page and you'll see it pinned. Johnson's Narrative Spittoon Inversion. Right? And let's see. Go into the prompts folder. And then somewhere in here, because I like, you know, I'll lose all my stuff. So I just put it all up. So where is the page to script, smoothing loop, page to prompt, resume story smoothing, page expansion, convert. So many prompts, I can't even find the one I'm looking for. Artifact builder, expansion. None of these are it. Final page variation. Is it possible I never uploaded that prompt? I suppose it is. Alright, well, I guess I'll have to fall back to the history of Klein, which is going to be fun, because that's like going back some. Can I search fuzzy? Yeah, let's search for... update narrative. Nothing. Okay. Okay, what about book? We've written 3 books following the events of the first book, summarized in Story Supplement 01. Summarize the events that take place in book... Found it. Found it! Okay, so what we're going to have to do is make a couple of quick changes. So I'm going to change story to book 1. Right? Quick rename. not the start menu. Rename book 1. And then rename this to book 1 Uno. And then this one to book 1 Uno C4. And then make a new folder called story in caps. Oh, that's not a story, is it? Come on. That's my fault. Story. There we go. Alrighty. So before we can start writing the next book, we have to actually summarize the old book and update the narrative bucket. Otherwise, we're just going to end up writing another book from the same origin point. So then nothing that happened in book 1 will have any consequence on book 2, which is kind of lazy. Yeah? So I think my defenders are a bit OP. I want to move them. They're still overpowered, but there we go. So anyway, story is empty. Sharona is going to get updated. So let's paste that prompt in, and we'll say summarize the events that take place in book 1, creating a story supplement, which will be used to update the narrative bucket. And this will be Sharona. That's the narrative bucket. Add the new file to, and then this will actually be, so if I just type at project, it's Sharona project instructions. Otherwise, because it's the same system, so it's like modular, it's the same thing. It's just your name, your book, your file name. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all you need to do. Close that. Zanelli says, I feel that Windows loves to open on my Wacom tablet screen when I'm not using it. I had the same problem until it stopped working. RIP. I'm sure I'll either fix it or get another one, guys. It's probably why you were, where'd the thing go? We were having loads of fun with the overlays and then it just broke. To be honest, I think the problem started when I installed a USB-C card to the machine, and I think it's just like not good, and it might have actually broken the tablet, you know, because it's like it was that not good. The first thing was I noticed when I plugged it in, it didn't do it. It wasn't recognized in the system BIOS. I'm like, that's weird. But we'll see. So, discovery of mysterious technology. Look at all this cool stuff. She doesn't actually meet the hermit, by the way. He's gone. She finds his cave or something. I don't know. It's pretty good. All right, go, go, go. Now, you'll notice that we're not summarizing the upscale. We're summarizing the original because I've run out of money. Hold up. I just need to top up again. It's time to top up again. Open router, guys. Open router. The best. It's the best open router there is. I've seen a lot of them like it, but none of them have been quite like this one. All right, let's just do the thing. There we go. And we're back on business. Right, cool. Close that. Probably an ungodly amount of money has been spent there by now. Oh look, I'm clicking over here and it's just turning into an invasion. I think I'm going to have to deploy the friendlies. Done. Okay. So let's take a look at it then. Did you just put it in there? No. That's all right. I can put it in there. It is referenced here. So. I think, there we go. So the Hunter, the Flash Flood, the Predator, the Alchemist Dwelling, the Winter Storm, the Horizon, and then she disappears into the horizon. Classic ending for book 1. So what I reckon is to start the plan for book 2 in the form of the last page. So where do I want, the real question is, where do I want my character to be? Where do I want my character to be at the end of page 5? Sorry, at the end of the book, the last page. Where do I want the character to be? So do I want to continue doing the whole character-driven survival narrative where there's no... Well, no, it's not character-driven, sorry. It's environment-driven. It's an environment-driven... because there's only one character, you know? I wanted to try and, like, distill it down so I only had one character. There's no, like, dense conversations in this one that allow you to... Because this is the thing. If you have, like, chatty characters and everyone's got to talk about lunch, that's half the book. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to be, like... make a project which was so much more focused in weight of descriptive information rather than everyone just yapping, okay? Because it's easy to make a bunch of guys sit around and talk about their breakfast. But what I wanted to do was make it about a solitary character that doesn't talk much because there's no one to talk to. So why would you even talk? And that, I think, would lend well to a comic, because then it's all about the imagery and the speech isn't really that important. What little speech there is would be very short and to the point. It'd be more like, ah, or, you know, it wouldn't be like, it'd be like startling sound effects, you know, more like that. But that's what book 1 was. Book 1 is just a migration path. So it's winter, she's heading south. They follow migration patterns. So she starts off, I think, in like Siberia or something. And then as the story is progressing and she's going south, it's almost like there's a feeling that the winter is chasing her, but it's not. It's just, do you know what I mean? It's the beginning of winter and she's going south. So anyway, whatever. And then the idea is she follows, I think, cranes. She's following the crane migration path to navigate. So if you start in Siberia or Mongolia-ish, that kind of steppe areas around there, if you start there and you start following the migration pattern, you end up somewhere in China. It's not quite Beijing. Ironically, you kind of miss all of the civilization and you just end up at the coastline. But then I want to do something interesting with that. But I want to keep it character driven. So what I was thinking was we could have like extreme overgrown Chinese cities. I think that could be kind of cool. But it's supposed to be set like many thousands of years in the future. So there shouldn't really be... Do you know what I mean? I was thinking about it for continuity. I was thinking, well, there isn't really going to be much civilization left. So do I really want to even do that? And I want to make a reveal, but I was planning on doing that in book 3. So it's sort of like I need to find it. I was thinking as well, like initially in the plan, I was like, oh, we could do book 2. Like she finds some remnant of civilization, which is not really a city or a town. It's more just a collection of people that are somehow working together again, which could be interesting. But I don't know if I really want to follow those sorts of themes. Really, I think it'd be better to get her on a boat. I think it'd be better to get her on a boat. But then she doesn't have a boat. She needs a boat. So where did she get the boat? She could find a boat. That's kind of lazy, you know? It'd be better if the boat is earned somehow. Maybe through helping someone else. Maybe there's one person and she helps the person out and the person gives the boat in exchange. That would be cool, but it needs to be more fleshed out than that. And I don't want to just set him in a random direction and just wind him up and let him go, because he will do that, but this deserves a little bit more. We need a bigger boat. Yeah, we need a bigger boat. Yeah. Well, maybe there's a boatman. That might make sense. It might make sense that in this desolate future, there's some dude that has a boat and he takes people across a big river. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. And then you've got this whole scorpion and the turtle vibe going on. Hang on, let me just do a bit of research here. So let's get the Cloud, because Cloud's got a new cool deep research feature. Research, put it on. Oh, I nearly lost the idea then. You can tell it's definitely coffee time. I just had the idea, it's gone. China, migration paths, river, boatman. Right, deltas. River deltas near Beijing, I guess. I bet there's like a really big one that no one talks about it because it's in China. It's very like the Yellow River or something, like, you know, they got loads of them. I love how I just got like the most powerful research tool. River deltas near Beijing. I'm treating it like Google. Feels disrespectful. Scorpion and the frog. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, mate. Yeah, true. If it was the scorpion and the turtle, that wouldn't really work, would it? Because the turtle would just be like, what are you doing? And the scorpion's like trying to get the shell. It just doesn't work. It's like, what are you doing? I'm just gonna go in my shell and you're gonna drown now. Yeah, scorpion and the frog is correct. Beijing River Deltas. I bet it would be so funny if it just comes back after all this time. He's like, no. It's turning into deep thought. Like I said, I'm a big Douglas Adams fan. It's going to get to the point where we won't understand the question. He'll come back with an answer and we won't understand the question. So I've just given him River Deltas near Beijing and you come back, no. They were like, what do you mean, no? Oh, there is a version with the turtle, is there? Well, maybe the turtle got stung in his leg like a terrapin or something, because I don't think they can go all the way back in. I forget which ones it is. I think some of them can't go all the way back in. Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Wow, look at this guy. 60 sources and counting. Jesus. 120 sources. Guys, so while we've been talking about scorpions and frogs, it just found me 120 sources on river deltas near Beijing. It's just like casual 200 sources. He will have read them all as well. Mental. Should we ask Google what it thinks? Come on, let's do a side by side. I gave the AI a head start, you know. The Pearl River Delta. The Pearl River Delta metropolitan region is the low-lying area surrounding the Pearl River estuary, where the Pearl River flows into the South China Sea. Okay. And now I'll say Mongolian, Chinese, crane migration paths. Right. Here we go. You see them flying about, you'll know. And the funny thing is that it happens in waves. And they come down like that. See, look. Oh, crap map. Aha! The journey of the boys. Borussia. So they go from Mongolia south to Poyang Lake in China for the winter. Po Yang Lake. Po Yang Lake, everybody. Po Yang Lake. Oh, wow. That's epic. Hold up. What? Hey, stop bombing Po Yang Lake. Oi, 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 oi. Get the attack freight guys in. Clean them up. Okay. So, trying to bomb my demo. Cheeky sods. So anyway, there, he's going. The other side of the screen is like a war zone right now, guys. My interceptors are gonna go. The defense wings on the case. What the hell? Bargy Dolphin. Okay, so map including the lake. Don't we have like? Okay, so we've got. There we go. There they are. Look at that. Look at all that dung. That's definitely a migratory lake. So like all the birds in the world come to, you know. Wow, that's a lot of dung. I swear there was like a cool temple thing. What happened to the cool temple? Ah, didn't I see there was a cool temple? It was like, that's cool. Wait. What? No. Where is it? There, that. What's that? Why can't I go to this one? Yeah, what is that? Pyong Lake in dry season. What? So it's legit. It's a paradise for migratory. Whoa, that's a lot of dung. Oh my God. I've just realized this rock is absolutely plastered in guano. Wait, that's batshit, isn't it? But yeah, basically all the cranes in the world fly to this one rock. That's crazy. And there's an, wait. Oh, I see. Okay, guys, I figured it out. It's a lake, but half of the year it dries up. So this is like an island with a temple on it, but in the dry season, oh, that's nice. I don't know what that is. That's from Russia. So, this could be a cool place. I would imagine the rock is still going to be there. Because there's going to be this big old rock in a natural lake. That 10,000 years, there's still going to be this island with a natural lake that forms around it every year. That's not going to change. The tower might be gone. It's just an interesting landmark that would just always be there. And if you follow the birds, it makes a nice centerpiece for the story. Ooh. And also, if you don't leave before the rainy season, you get stuck there for the rest of the year. Unless you got a bigger boat. Yeah, the temple wouldn't survive Fernicar, I agree 100%. But I think that this little ridge, which exists in a large wetland area, which is accessible by land at the beginning of the dry season, sorry. Accessible in the dry season and then inaccessible during the wet season. That's an interesting little gimmick or detail, I think. Because that ain't going nowhere. 10,000 years, yep, still there. And this lake will still be flooding like that. She's heading there, she's following the birds there. I think it all makes sense. So she can go here and find this and it will look cool. And yeah. Because it's kind of a epic little description. Just some sort of natural, it's like an epic land formation. Like we have something like that in France called Mont Saint-Michel. And then there's another one in England at the other side of the channel called St. Michael's Mount. And it might be that, well, that's how I remember it. So like, it's like a church that's built on a rock, just a little bit out to sea. And obviously at low tide, you can just walk there, but at high tide, you can't. And obviously the monks used that as a way to prevent being sieged. It's pretty smart. Because obviously if you can defend for if you can defend for the low tide period, all of the siege equipment gets washed away by the sea every day. So it's pretty smart. And the French had one, and I think the English had one. They're pretty much the same idea. St. Michael's Mount, but much smaller than this. Saint, and it stands to reason that there might be some kind of hermit there, actually. I don't know how I want to portray St. Michael's Mount. I don't know how I want to portray that, though, in the story. Yeah, look, see? It's basically the same thing, but just more medieval. So that's St. Michael's Mount, a tidal island connected to the mainland by a causeway, and it features a castle and a church, and it's in Cornwall. And then you have Mont Saint-Michel. Let me just check I'm not remembering this wrong. So that's the British one, and then this is the French one. Yep. I wonder if there's more like that, you know, like they're like castle towns. It's like a castle island that's built beyond a marsh, so it's just a nightmare. If you wanted to, like, you know, get a horseback mount army to like march on it, it's just a nightmare because it's just. But yeah, I've been to both of them. They're very, very cool. This one's probably harder to get to, though. You wouldn't want to be caught there. Oh, wow, look at that. Is that snow? Wow, that's cool. So anyway, very picturesque, right? But yeah, like we were saying, it's going to be the one in China. Let's go past all these beautiful medieval. It's so gothic and beautiful. Oh, my God. Don't worry, guys. I think the internet held, but the power just went out. I'm still here, though. The lights are on a different ring. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, stop bombing the thing. Stop bombing the thing. Bloodthirsty. Alright. So, yeah, that's my plan. So I want to head for that lake. Because obviously she doesn't know it's called that. What's that? You need to get to Svalbard in book 3. Polar bears and stuff. Svalbard. Where's that? It sounds a long way away for old Sharona. Let's have a look. Svalbard. Oh, isn't that Antarctica? What the hell? I asked for Svalbard. It's getting stuck on China. The image shows China. Huh? What? Why is there an image? Google's gone mad. I never copied an image into it. Okay. Must have done it automatically somehow. Svalbard. So where is that? Spitsbergen. Oh, okay. I know where that is. It's quite a whiles away, though. Because Sharona's over here. Okay, so... Sharona's not even on the map. Well, look, maybe we can figure out a way to get her there. I don't know. But yeah, this is the area that we're dealing with. So she's going to end up in Poyang Lake. It would be nice if I could get an overlay of that. Oh, I know. Google. Google. Can you do Google Earth in a browser still, or do you have to download it? Can we do it in a browser? Oh, God knows what that is. 7th of May 2025. That's... Huh? What? Apparently I did something in Google last month. Oh, I bet it was when we last bloody looked it up, wasn't it? Right. Poyang Lake. I don't even know, like, because it's kind of pointless. This is just like writer's research, you know, like notes and stuff. Because the plan was always that she's going to be coming this direction. Did a little bit of research into it before we planned it all, right? So, whoa, what's going on here? Where are my defense fighters? Come on, guys. Letting down the side over here. I don't think that I'm not... This is pointless. Right, Google Maps. Yeah, it's pointless. Pointless. I think you have to download it. Poyang Lake. Is that... That's not the same scale. No, what is the scale right now? 10 kilometers. Jesus. This thing's massive. Okay, so where did they take that picture from? And was it like creative cherry picking? Like, is this the rock and actually it's part of the mainland? You know what I mean? Like, they take it from a funny angle so it looks like it's just out in the middle of nowhere, but actually it's just not. Oh, hang on. What the heck, dude? No way. There's like, look at this. They're like living in this massive lake, which becomes dry. It becomes like the dry season and there's no water. It's crazy. So where's the temple? I like to explore the space a bit because I think it gives you a bit more familiarity when you're trying to like write the storyline. It's a bit like going to Spain because you want to write about Spain. It's not like I'm trying to inspiration. Oh, what? There's nothing there. Huang Di Mao Island. Island? What? Huang Di Mao Island. Oh, it's an A. A-O. You got more luck. You got no chance, have you? You got no chance. You got no chance, mate. It probably means 6 different things. It's probably a town, a dish, and a car brand. Yeah. Oi! My defense fleet's dead. They've had enough. They've run out of fuel. Changzhou. It's not that one. Has that one got a runway on it? Poyang. So this is Poyang Lake. I don't see that. I don't see the rock with the temple on it. You'd think it would be easy to find, wouldn't you? Unless, nah, that's too big. I know I'm like fixating on a small detail here, but that's the point. Poyang Lake. This thing. It's tiny. Oh wow, there's loads of bits that get flooded. It's the largest freshwater lake in China. See what I mean? That's where you go. It's... Do you know what I mean? If you're a migratory thing in this part of the world, well, you wouldn't go to the ocean because it's like salt water, you know. Well, I would have thought probably because it's like you're going to be eating chicken all day or whatever, duck. It's going to be duck all day, duck for days. There's a fishing ban. A 10-year fishing ban. Yeah. Okay. And then the first picture on here is a fisherman. It's a fishing ban. 10-year fishing ban. Here's Wikipedia trying to get this guy in trouble. Pictures of actual crimes. Okay. All right. We've established that it's a cool place. So yeah, we know where we're going. We're going to Poyang Lake. Oh yeah, that was it. There was one other thing I needed to do actually. Was just to see, can we get an overlay for like, there's Poyang. So what's this look like here? Loads of lakes and mountains. Lakes, mountains. Oh my god, that is a lot of... Hang on, can I just zoom into anywhere and just find rice fields? Holy crap, hang on. Okay, let's zoom out a bit further. Let's zoom into this mountain. Surely it's not rice fields here. Yeah, it is. Okay, what about up here somewhere? It's just farmland. It's just farmland everywhere. And there's no... Is there like... What about that? This is a mountain. There's no way. No. There's farming up there too. I'm not like... Mate, I'm not criticising here. I'm just trying to get an idea of the geography. So, Chow Lake. Pyonglang Lake. So hang on a minute. They said that was the largest inland freshwater lake. But this one looks much bigger. So is this not freshwater or something? What the hell? Is it fake? Alright. Taihu Lake. Come on. I want facts. Oh yeah, that's the point. How are we doing over here? Beijing deltas. Okay, cool. Right, I need to cross-reference. Okay. Cross-reference with Poyang Lake and... Yeah, with Poyang Lake, yeah. Cross-reference with Poyang Lake, the destination for migratory birds originating in the Mongol region. I know it's like kind of like, oh, you know, it's a load of fluff, right? But that's the whole point. You need to have some backbone. And I think that in 10,000 years, the cranes will still be flying the same route. The lakes will still be filling up in the rainy season. No matter what happens to humanity and civilization, that will still happen, right? Well, that's my idea, okay? In this scenario, there's been no nuclear war or anything like that. It's just a regression. A 10,000 year regression back to a sort of pseudo Bronze Age. Well, that's what I was aiming at. Clear north part. Yeah, here we go. Look. It's nice to have a little bit of a... Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have something to it that's like actually based in reality, and then you can play with your thing on the side. You know what I mean? So it's not just a bunch of nonsense. I like there to be like a... you know, a thread. There's a thread there that makes sense. So it's not too much of a reach. Because obviously all fiction is a bit of a reach, right? And I think that if you bothered to do the research to find out, oh, yeah, this is all solid stuff. What's this? Point of View says, important. Yeah, I was just seeing people talk about how the author of Twilight never knew barely anything about the Pacific Northwest. And her stories had in them. Right. So he's just making up a bunch of stuff like it was, oh, yeah, fan fiction. And everyone's like, oh, yeah. Like it's true. Yeah, you were asking for the world seed banks. Yeah, it's Svalbard. See, I thought they were down in Antarctica. I didn't realise they were up in the north. For some reason, I thought they were down in Antarctica. Maybe there's two of them. I bet they've got multiple, right? So, so the white-naped crane breeds in Mongolia, migrates to wintering areas around Poyang Lake. Western population declining by well, they're not, don't worry about that. When there's no humans around to eat them all, I'm sure there'll be plenty of cranes. Siberian cranes stop in Tianjin and Inner Mongolia before continuing to Poyang, where 99% of the population winters. Beijing deltas as refueling stations. Migration timing concentrate. Route shifting due to habitat loss. Well, we don't. That's not important. Conservation. Okay, he's okay. We are researching for the writing of a story whose journey is navigated propagated from, the lights just went out again, from Mongolian steppes to the, from the Mongolian steppe to Poyang Lake, mirroring the migratory path. The story is set at least 10,000 years into the future, after an, I don't like saying a great regression event decimating human population. Oh my god, I can't read. Stop attacking me. Human populations. Yeah. Decimating. Or decimated global human population. It's like 99.9%, you know. It's like the characters don't know why it happened, so you don't even need to just. It's like it's apparent there's no one around. You know what I mean? Because I've always thought about these last man on Earth type scenarios, and sometimes I think that a lot of the attraction in the zombie scenario is not the zombies; it's the fact that there's no one else and there's very few people, and so there's lots of things that can happen as a result of that breakdown of society and its rules and all. There was one with Woody Harrelson. I forget the name of the movie now, but that was like a good example of how they decided to take it into more wacky, fun direction, right? It's more about there's less people around, you can do anything you want. There's a lot of things that have explored that, but I like the idea of it's like, because I think somebody worked it out. How many humans are required to sustain the species? It's not even that many, which is surprising. 98. That can't be right. 40,000, says someone else. You see what I mean? The minimum number of humans to keep the species going is somewhere between 100 and 50,000. That's crazy. You have more than that in the average town in the West. The average town in the West is bigger than that. So it's like everyone could just be gone. Do you know what I mean? Everyone could just be gone, and the humanity won't actually just die out. You know what I mean? It would just keep going, but you'd be like incredibly rare. So it'd be like you know, seeing there are wild animals like big cats. They do exist, but they stay away from human population. So it'd be like flipped. You know how people talk about, oh, there's a big cat, a lion, some guy had a panther, and when he died, it escaped. And everywhere has these sort of stories, right? Or there's a bear in the woods, you know. But it would be the opposite way around. The humans would be the bear in the woods now. Because the humans can kill anything. You can't hear them coming. You don't know what they're up to. And now they don't drive cars and make loads of noise. So, I don't know. It's just a kind of an interest. It's like it's not the last man on Earth, but it's like it. It's as good as the last man on Earth type story. But actually there are people. It's just there's so few of them. And it changes everything about how the story works, which I didn't expect when I started planning the series. So this is partly why I love taking on these challenges to do stuff I don't normally do, because normally I just write sci-fi. And I'll admit, it's going to end up being sci-fi, but I want to try and do another book without the reveal. So, because the whole thing is just part of a larger universe I've already written a lot of, and that's part of the backflip for me, is like try to write a whole book without actually even mentioning anything about that, and then have it still make sense in book 3. I think that will be a lot of fun to try and pull off. But like I said, I need to get her to the lake. So I think we've got a plan now. So here we go. Oh yes, look at this. It's giving me the juice. 10,000 years of recovery would dramatically reshape the migration corridor. After human population collapse, Beijing's massive urban sprawl would long since have been reclaimed by nature. The high river system might flow freely again through rewilded floodplains where skyscrapers once stood. Oh my god, it's going to look so cool. Tianjin's industrial port could be underwater or transformed into vast tidal marshes as sea levels stabilise at new heights. The Bohai Bay region would be unrecognisable. Without constant dredging and land reclamation, the Yellow River's natural meandering would have created an enormous shifting delta complex. The rigid coastlines of our era would have softened to intricate networks of islands, channels and seasonal wetlands stretching hundreds of kilometres inland. Mongolian steppes might extend much further south, with climate changes and the absence of agricultural boundaries. Your traveller could encounter vast grasslands where Beijing's suburbs once sprawled, punctuated by mysterious ruins and skeletal remains of the ancient Grand Canal system. True, that might survive. Because you've got to think about like Roman canals and aqueducts. They're still fully functional 2,000 plus years later. So 10,000 years later, they might not still be functional, but bits of it would still be there. But it's like Göbekli Tepe and that. What's left of Göbekli Tepe? You know what I mean? I appreciate they weren't using like carbon fiber and steel, okay, but the point is there's not much is left. It's dust. Stone and dust is about it. Following the bird route offers natural story structure. Mongolian highlands, ancient breeding grounds, perhaps near descendants of Lake Baikal or the Khenti Mountains. Sorry if I butcher the pronunciation there. Great ruins, former Beijing, crumbling megastructures now serving as cliff faces, hidden valleys between fallen towers, 1,000 islands, transformed Bohai Bay, a labyrinthine water world where the ancient coastline dissolved into marshlands and shifting channels. We saw some of the pictures of those earlier, by the way. Middle Kingdom waters, following river systems south through landscapes where nature and forgotten human settlements intermingle. The sacred lake, Poyang, expanded or transformed, but still the great wintering ground. So it's all connected. It's all on point with the plan, with what, you know, what was told. So what you understood was happening in book 1 happens through this. That's beautiful. I'm just going to copy that and put it into the project. It's like beautiful, absolute fire there. So let's see, we'll pick the Sharona bucket, we'll call it migration details, paste it in, save it. It doesn't have an extension because I'm cool. .md. Right, so we've got our migration details. So diddly diddly dee. Right, next prompt. Don't you dare cut the power out on me. Okay, I want a new clean thing. I'm going to say we can outline the plan for book 2 by keeping in mind the events of book 1, and then we go the story supplement 1. We will also pay attention to the project instructions. I may as well say it twice just to make sure. Project instructions. Okay, so just put bullet points in there. There we go. We have details to plan the structure, plan the story structure around in this document, which would be the thing that we just did, all of our research docs. Research document, which would be migration details. Migration details. Yeah, be careful with those power cables, Dragon. Jeez. You're supposed to isolate it before you... It's just like... We have details to plan the story structure around in this document. Okay. This can form the basis for the beginnings of planning. Love it. For the beginnings of planning the story structure as this series continues. Now, yeah, that's good. That's good. Because I'm essentially going to create like a micro brain to write the last page. And then we're home free, guys. Can't believe how much cool information we got. That's legit. That would have taken me all day to do that without that. 300 sources it checked. So insane. And am I going to check any of it? No. Because actually, it doesn't really need to be accurate. It just needs to look accurate. Because remember, it's 10,000 years in the future. How much of it could be? There's so many variables. We're just trying to imagine a future here, which is so far removed from the reality we have, it becomes like a fantasy in itself, even though it's not trying to be like magic or superhumans or technology. It's getting rid of all of that, and it's a natural natural fantasy. Sounds like your birthday soon, but there you go. Okay. Oh wow, look at this plan. Holy crap. Right. Copy that, and then we're going to be like book 2 plan, book 2 plan.md. Paste it, save it. So let's have a look at what he said here. My goodness me. Follows on the migration continues but expands dramatically in scope. Rather than the localized challenges of Book 1, Book 2 follows the ancient migration route southward, a journey that will take her through transformed landscapes from Mongolian steppes down through what were once the most populous regions of ancient China, now reclaimed by nature after 10,000 years. Starting point northern steppes, unusual bird behavior, massive flocks gathering for unprecedented migration. The pattern this year is different. It's going much further south. Doesn't make sense, but yeah, sure. Follow the bird route rather than ancient trails, where they're the same, actually. The ancient bird route, as these are now also human migration trails, sets up the approaching ice age as the driving force, even though she doesn't understand this. That's okay. Mongolian highlands region, elevated terrain with different challenges. Introduction to a new predator species. I wonder what that would be. A bear, maybe? Mongolian highlands. Are there bears in the Mongolian highlands? What large predator... Right. This is why we need the AI, guys. Because then it's not like, oh, it was a vampire. You know what I mean? Mongolian highlands. Name the top 5 large predators. A tiger, a bear, and a BBC film crew. Snow leopard, grey wolf, brown bear, Eurasian lynx, wolverine. Wow. Well, there's plenty to pick from here, isn't there? Yeah. There's plenty to pick from there. All right, so I don't need to worry about that. Any of them would be fine. It'd be kind of boring to fight a wolf. It's kind of generic. But any of the others, a lynx, now that's kind of exotic. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, oh, what's a lynx? Like, I know it's just it's like a big cat, right? But it's not as big as a leopard, but it's still something your donkey's got to worry about. Okay, the Great Ruins. Encounter with technology beyond the alchemists. No. Not canon. This is why I like doing it this way round, guys, because we can split through this and go like that, don't like that, nix, and just cross it out or replace it with something else. It's usually right, though. Potential discovery of other humans. Now, if I want to do that, I'll do it within painting. I don't want him to do that. Okay, step to marshland. Former Bohai, now a labyrinth water world. No survivors. There better not be any more stupid stuff about meeting people in here. There's no one around. Like, my idea is that if you average the world population out, even with 100,000 people worldwide, chances are you're never going to meet anyone for years. You know, you go years without never seeing a single person. So everyone has to be survivalist maxing. Otherwise, you just starve to death. There's no, like, community. There's nothing, you know. So we're looking at, like, a Hyborian, like a Neo-Hyborian scenario. Discovery of intact alchemist settlements. No, we're getting rid of that. No, it's all gone. 10,000 years, it's all gone. There's not enough people. Big problem. Arrival at Poyang Lake, Great Wintering, revelation about cycle of... Major revelation about the migration. I don't know how she's going to work that on her own. Set up for future books. This is part of a larger pattern. Okay, cool. Transition from reactive survival, strategic migration. Book 2, ring-to the other rare humans. Delivers on this with encounters. Yeah, we will, but we're not going to talk about it in the first draft. Okay, in the wetlands, by way of hints, not direct meetings. Yeah, because I don't want to do humans in book 2. We can introduce some crazy cool character in book 3 that will be far too cool and tacky. That's what I have to try and not do, you know. Introduced to alchemists, incomprehensible technology, reveals the true scale of lost civilization, introduction to the different types of knowledge. Because it's like the idea is, you know, just like now, like the archaeology we do now, there wasn't that much civilization actually. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't actually that much civilization to be found and dug up. But if you have like a situation where the entire of Beijing and that whole Chinese area, that say that has been overgrown by nature 10,000 years later, my God, man, you try digging anywhere, it's just going to be evidence. Dig anywhere 3 feet, evidence. Do you know what I mean? So much stuff. Because the thing is, the Romans were big, right? You can dig in Britain in certain places and you can still dig up Roman coins today. It's been like 2,000 years. So imagine China, like 100 times more prevalent than Rome was. You know what I mean? Got roads and stuff everywhere. So I think that even though at first sight it would look like there's nothing there, it would be kind of like a fantasy scenario in itself, because everywhere you look, there's just weird things that are evidence of this former established civilization. And then if you actually bothered to dig anywhere, it'd be artifacts everywhere. You know? Because a lot of that stuff will actually last 10,000 years. Like, it won't work anymore, but it will stay in one piece. Obviously not the plastic, but I think like fragments can stay for a long time. Anyway. Potential note. I think we need to learn more about the zebra. Maybe we should have a backstory of how she met the freaking zebra in book 2. That's probably more likely something which would be more interesting to reflect on. Like, how the hell? But I don't want to go on about that for the whole book, you know what I mean? If it was a TV show, you'd spend like one episode on it and then move on. Character development. Okay, would you like me to do... No, I can get rid of that as well. That'll infect the logic. Based on my analysis, I can do the thing with the thing. We can go like that. There we go, it's cleaned up. Right. So now, using at book 2 plan, we can write the, write the final chapter of this story as a single page. Okay, a single page named page 5.text, which will make sense in a second if you have not seen us do this before. Using Sharona Book 2 plan, we can write the final chapter of this story as a single page named page 5. Follow the instructions in at project instructions and keep, what was it? Keep in consideration? No. Okay. Be sure to consider the full, what was it? Consider the book 2 plan at we've already done that, using book 2 plan, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've already done that, actually. So I think that's it. Right, page 5. Follow the instructions. Use the plan. Yeah. Okay. Haha, Dragon says, dude, there's a Roman wall at the end of my street. That's what I mean. But yeah, lions and bears and tigers, oh my. So, we're basically doing like a Wizard of Oz without the wizard. Without the wizard, or the road, or the companions. I don't know. Okay. So then, let's take a look at the plan, big man. This is the culmination of Sharona's epic journey following the ancient bird migration route from the Mongolian steppes to the transformed Poyang Lake region, a journey spanning thousands of kilometers through radically changed landscapes. Sacred Lake. Yeah, Sacred Lake, character development moment. Okay, setting up her role as someone who begins to understand deeper patterns, I guess. Isn't it funny that AI continuously writes characters that are good at noticing patterns? This is something I've seen a lot lately. I think we're starting to see some character persona bias in these LLMs, because he does like to make nerds that are always telling you percentages and things. He loves to tell you the odds. So, discovery that this isn't just her migration, it's the migration. Okay, so it's trying to do an Ice Age riff. That's what it's trying to do. I was wondering about that. See, I'm not trying to say that this is the last migration before some great flood, but I think that's what this is trying to set up. It's trying to set up that this is the last migration before the event that triggers the glacial period for the planet. Because obviously in 10,000 years it will be long overdue. So that's the premise here. It's kind of like a breaking point. And they've kind of showed that as well. Like, they reckon that's what the biblical flood that's in all cultures' memory was. Apparently it only affected the tidal regions, but then that's where everybody was, apparently. So, interesting, isn't it? And they say it might even explain why those mummies were buried in the middle of the desert in boats with oars as headstones, even though that there's no natural water for thousands of miles. And, you know, it might have something to do with it. because they were a boat culture that moved inland following the disaster. Crazy. But anyway, that's just another aside. So writing style approach, match the contemplative sparse style of book one's final chapter, focus on environmental storytelling, minimal dialogue, she speaks 1 to 2 words, because without embed causality naturally without explicit because. Interesting. Human zebra communication system. It's more like talking to a German Shepherd. Yeah, it is kind of hard to fight the bias. It really is, yeah. It's because he wants to write code, really. I'm starting to see a little bit like how in the image models they trained Beauty for a long time and it made it unable to do certain things. I do worry that they're going to make him too good at code and then he's no good at doing, like, creative writing. But it seems to be okay at the moment. It seems to be okay. Like I said, this is the big test, because so far I've only done upscaling agents. I haven't done any fresh writing, so this is like why we're taking the time over this tonight. We're nearly done though. So let me just see. Maintaining character consistency. Revelations must come through observation and instinct, not analytical thinking. Yeah, true. So it's pointing out that, how the hell does she know? Subtle foreshadowing. Because again, we're writing backwards. We can do foreshadowing. Because we know that Chekhov got shot. So the AI will plant it later or mention it later. So we can do Chekhov's gun. No problem. You know what I mean? Because it's actually written in reverse. Which is the big trick. So emotional resonance creates a satisfying conclusion while maintaining the series' open-ended nature. Okay, that sounds good to me. Go. So we're only making him write the last page right now. The nice thing about this, though, is all we've got to do is take our last page prompt. So let's just find that. What the hell's going on, man? Here we go, right. So if I just get my 6-page story prompt right here, copy that, and we're ready. Make DAR book 2. Yeah, sure, I guess. Just write the page, you. He's so lazy. The Sacred Lake. The Sacred Lake. It's kind of nice to be able to hook it into a bunch of real world stuff, and normally that would have taken you being familiar with the region, having done days or weeks of research. Now with deep research you can make your stuff super accurate in record time, and then you can get back to the actual writing part, because I think sometimes you can go too far with realism, and it's sort of like, I think that's why some writers just don't bother. You just make it up. Yes, Italy. You're right about Italy. I've never been there. But as somebody said earlier in the chat, it does happen, and in really big popular books. Or should I say bestsellers. That's probably the best term for it. Bestseller. Okay, so story completion fulfills book 2 by bringing her to the thing. Character development, she's part of something bigger. This is all nonsense which will probably get painted out. This is something here which I didn't ask for and is a bias thing. Listen to this. Sharona experiences a profound realization that she's part of something much larger than individual survival. Recognizing this is the migration followed by scattered humanity for millennia, not just her personal journey. It doesn't matter to the story at all. That doesn't matter to the story at all. That's not canon. But the thing is that we can intelligently mask this. We can, after the book's written, we can mask anything that's related to this, because it's all vectors. We can mask, and then we can choose that as the target to in paint with a new concept. So it's just a challenge. It's just a little thing, It's not a problem. You just got to get round, you know. Let's see. Dragon says, this is why Dan Brown's stuff worked for a while, as he hid the lies in the truth of the world. So having a base in the real world to launch the fantasy is a solid step. I mean, look, it can be as simple as having a gimmick where it's the real world, but everyone's name starts with a B. And that's how you know it's not the real world. I'm Brift Bronson. Do you know what I mean? It sounds ridiculous because it is. And then no one can say it's not a parody. You know what I mean? Who's the Prime Minister right now? Oh, Obama? Do you know what I mean? You just change everything to a B, and then people will be like, this is stupid. And be like, yes, it's a joke. It's supposed to be stupid. I feel like sometimes people take jokes too seriously, but, yeah. I'd be Captain Obvious, wouldn't I? I'm Captain Obvious right now. So here we go. Series continuity. Character's voice, minimal dialogue, environmental storytelling, and her instinctual understanding of the world around her. So I am a little bit worried about some stuff in here, but I think it's okay. So we've got our last page. That's all we really needed, right? So now I do recommend that you actually write the page yourself. Writing the last chapter is actually really nice, and you can then do everything else the same. But in the demos, we always show basically start to finish. The only thing we didn't do to save on time was we used an existing narrative bucket from the Sharona project, which is right here. I've done streams on how to create those buckets from your own work, as well as provided a bunch of demonstration ones that you can just practice with, so get a feel for how the system works. So you go on my GitHub, you will find a bunch of narrative buckets. There's another repo called Narrative Buckets that contains all of the free story themes. It's like a theme pack that allows you to write that story with those characters. Obviously, take an AI and change the character names and everything. Now it's your story with your character. Change the world. Now it's your world. All of the JSONs and the mermaids and these are all created as well by analyzing what you made up. So it kind of feedback loops itself. And then you curate out the bits that you don't agree with. Like I didn't agree that there were a bunch of humans in the story other than my main character. So I deleted them or edited them. And then that's it. Oh, it's talking about the zebra. Each has saved each other's life multiple times. I'd love to learn how the zebra saved Sharona's life. That'd be a good one. See, there's a premise, right? Maybe we'll cover that one in book 3, some flashbacks. Okay. So we've got our we've got everything sorted out. So let's just go new prompt. And it's no longer in my copy buffer. Hang on a sec. Copy, paste. Right, so this is the default prompt for writing the story backwards. Now you've got to remember there's a lot of compacted instruction inside the default project instructions, which of course for this project is going to be the Sharona project instructions, which contains things like the summary of book 2, you know. In fact, you know what? I think we've actually skipped a step. Let me just think about this. Yeah, I've skipped a step. I've skipped a step. Before I do anything here, there's still something else to do. Because actually, the world hasn't changed yet. We've got what we need to do it, but we haven't done it. So let's just quickly do that. So it'll be in my history again. I can just copy it. So here we go. Into here, into the history. We're looking for, I think it wasn't story, it was narrative. Narrative update? No. Narrative bucket? No. Oh, man. No, it is narrative bucket. It says right there. Summarize the events, summarize the events, summarize the events. which will be used to update the narrative bucket. So where's the actual update? Oh my god, I can't spell. Update. Useless. Narrative. Look at this. This is all what the stuff I've been done. Adding inner character thoughts. No. Summarize the events that happened in... Yeah. We will expand by adding more information. We will enhance. No. Summarize. I've done this so many times. It's like trying to find that one thing I need. We can use project. No. Okay. How about summary? No. Supplement. Summarize the events. Is that it? 7 gigabytes of history and you can't find the thing I did the other day. It's my fault because I can't remember. Update the narrative. No. Story. No. Lore. No. Update the files inside tower to reflect the current state. Be sure to... that's the lore book. Oh, wait. Yeah, I think I can adapt this. Okay, cool. So basically... Plan. We can update the files inside Sharona to reflect the current state of our... To reflect the current state of our story following the events of Book 1. Book 1. What? Okay, I can't use that. That's a bad one. 001. There we go. Story supplement 01. Update the world, characters, and speaking style. Adding new characters and create... No. We don't need to do that. Position in the command structure. Can you tell it's from Empire? Okay. Be sure to update the world, characters, and speaking style. No. Update the world and characters. Yes. And characters appropriately to the past events, which have taken place in Book 1. Okay. So yeah, I forgot. I got to update the narrative with the actual... Because what we did is we extracted the information by distilling the book into a supplement. And then you've got to say, okay, now update using the information in the supplement, update my world definition, if you will. It's kind of like doing an update, you know? And then, like I said, once you've done that, we're ready to run the 5-page prompt. We've got our last page. We've updated the bucket. That's all you need to do, really. It takes forever. Well... I mean, come on, it takes an hour. It took us an hour. It's like an hour and a half to set it up. And we did all the research live, you know what I mean? I haven't come here with any, like... I didn't come to this even with an idea in my head of what the book 2 was going to be about, other than, like, there's going to be one. I know what book 3 is. Yeah. But I've deliberately not really thought about it, okay? So I could do all the research live, and because that's how we did book 1. We'll do book 3 the same as well. It's fun. Okay, the mermaid's up to date. Predator species, that's good. So they're all fine. Environmental dangers is well aligned. Minimal updates. Technology spectrum. Geothermal heating, artificial lights. Interaction level is observation only. Survival techniques, combat experience from predator confrontation, survival, winter storm survival, equipment repair. The spear broke. Oh no. Technology assessment skills. Okay, well, yeah, I'm not sure if she really does, but whatever, it's fine. Enhanced description of weather storm intensification. Flash flood. Yep, there's going to be a flash flood. Cool, that's good. It's in a floodplain, so this is what I'm saying. Like, it's nice to have things happen in places where things can happen, you know? So apparently she gets a big cat encounter in chapter 3. Ah, that's from book... Yeah. Curiosity about technology. Zebra companions proven reliability. In other words, it ran off and it came back. To be honest, I do treat the zebra in this story like the luggage in Discworld. It kind of is just a sentient thing. Okay, so includes all book 1. Yep, okay. I'm happy with that. I don't think I missed anything. Yeah. So what this is actually going to do is it's going to actually update the RAG assets. Because if you just use the same ones for retrieval, then obviously you're just, you're starting from step 1 again, right? When you really, if you've just written the whole book, you need to start from that point. Like a good example would be, say she had a fight with the tiger and got a scar on her arm. If you start from square 1, book 2, she hasn't got the scar anymore. You see what I mean? It's like those sorts of little details. They're only little details, but they're easy to track. Because you can have him extract them and then put them into the notes for new generation. Oh, it was an infertility crisis, huh? Cool. Because that's the thing, if you have an infertility crisis, the entire human race can pretty much lose 99.9% of the population in like 100 years. Because, but it's not explained. It's not the point of the story. It's just a way, a bit like teleporters in Star Trek were a way to get actors from one set to another quickly. Do you know what I mean? This is kind of similar. I need to have a world with no people in it. I didn't want to do war. I think it's played out. I didn't want to do disease because it's obvious, So I thought, okay, infertility crisis. The birth rates are already going down. So I was like, they just keep going down. Okay, that's your scenario. Does anybody know why? No, all the scientists are dead. See, that's the... Do you know what I mean? No one's ever going to find out why. So it's kind of like irrelevant to the plot. So I'm not even going to need to explain it. I don't think. I mean, I don't want to spoil the spoilers before the book's even been planned, but we're going to plan it all out, and maybe there's a few twists I've been hiding up my sleeve, yeah. But they're all for book 3. They're all for book 3. So how are we going to do? Equipment updated, psychology, zebra, alchemist technology, attitudes, direct combat, new technique, extreme storm survival technique. Cool. Sharona's exposure. Current. Okay, so it's up to date. Right, beautiful. So now I can get the 5-page prompt and actually start the story and get that written. So we're nearly there, guys. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but I wanted to do some proper planning for this book because it is a sequel. I don't want it to be like weak, just another book like exactly the same as the first one. It's kind of suck. So I'm going to clear that out. Plan mode. Here we go. Story page 5. So did I actually put the page into the book? Like that. Book 2. Story, yeah, got to put it in there. So there we go, we got the page in there. This is the page. Understand the instructions in project. There we go, showing project instructions. Now there are a bunch of other call outs for the same file, so I'm just going to update that with copy paste real quick. Like that. And like that. There we go. Sharona. Story page 5. Story page 5. So I'm just going to, in case, just for the benefit of new viewers, I know a lot of you guys know what this is, but I'm just going to read this out for the benefit of you guys. So this is the prompt. We can use the project instructions, Sharona project instructions for this project, to write a story in reverse. By guessing what happened in the scene, we will adhere to the project instructions when speculating, writing a single page at a time. We will define process methodology for this task in planning mode. Then I will supply the final page of the story. We will then follow the Sharona project instruction while we read the page 5. That's this one here. Understand the instructions, which is the project instructions. In case I hadn't actually gone over that, the project instructions essentially outline a what's it called at the beginning of a book? It's like a table of contents for all of the files that are actually in this folder. So narrative spittoon.txt, that one there is a module instructions. It even has a brief, see, module of instructions for use when generating fictional texts. Let's just wrap it. Fictional texts for consideration with deep thinking LLMs. Ghostwriting.md provides guidelines for ghostwriting style, which shall be used in any suggestions for rewrites of passages that are identified as weak by scoring systems. And then also Holographic Tutor contains 4 functions for high-level scoring, review, critique, and identifying areas of weakness in the manuscript. That one's actually interactive and can be used after you've done your first draft. The Universe Core documentation defines the world, the characters, the speech styles, technology, glossary, or whatever. The comprehensive summary of Book 1, environmental dangers, the rest is generated. And then here we have what is everything again. So what actually is everything? So if I need to do like survival techniques, the LLM knows to just look at this JSON and then it will use the same ones every time. That gives you consistency and coherency in an otherwise hallucinatory tool. All right. Enough yabbering. Oh no, wait. Okay. Write page 4, which aims to tell the story of how we reach page 5. Use data linked in the project to inform story content. Repeat the instruction for each page until you reach page 0, which will be the start of the story. As you step through the pages, use the hero's journey in reverse, averaged over 6 pages, to introduce elements to the story as you write each page. You can swap that out for Save the Cat or whatever other famous story structure written in the last 100 years that you prefer. For the sake of speed, we have actually provided you with that list. It's in the repo. If I can find the right window, I'll show you. Into prompts again. Let's see, is it down here? Story types chronology. So right here, this is like the last 100 years of different story systems. Every single one of these terms can be swapped out for the hero's journey, which is also here and explained in detail. We're doing this in reverse. Okay. Right. It's time to write. So, we've set everything up. And like I said, I hope you can see, if you've been here for the whole show, I know a lot of you guys actually do watch from start to finish. So I just want to say, like, you know, I hope you can see, while the results are good, the amount of effort you put in makes it good. It's not good because the system's magic. It's good because you took the time to do the effort. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, anything that you put 2 hours of prep time into will either explode in an impressive fashion or will come out nice because we're baking a cake. So, let's do it. I will close off all of these before I hit the act button, even though it's probably too late. I think they're all still loaded in memory. Normally I close all my tabs before I start the plan. Okay, off he goes. When does he stop? Nobody knows, but I can say this much: it won't even be long. It won't even be long. So he's going to read all the stuff. It's going to take him a while to read all the things. He might even chunk, 500,000 tokens before he even writes page 1. But that's what you want. So he's going to read that page 5, and he's going to start writing page 4. Then he's going to read page 4, and he's going to start writing page 3. He actually has a skeleton of the structure going forwards, and then he's writing it backwards from the end, chapter by chapter. Here we go. And remember, a page, how long is a page? A page is a single file. Could be 1,000 lines. So we use the term page interchangeably with chapters, because the LLM, if you say write a chapter, it has just as much meaning. But a page is an individual file with a page number, so that's an automatic timer. You know what I mean? If you count down to 0, then stop. That's the beginning, isn't it? So it's like a little bit of a trick, but... So each page will be approximately 1,500 to 2,000 words, matching the style and depth of page 5. So page 5, given. Page 4, the road back. Page 3, the ordeal. Page 2, tests. Page 1, crossing the threshold. Page 0, because we're a list, we're an array, so we start at 0. Ordinary world, call to adventure. Technical methodology. We're going to go from the wetlands to the Thousand Islands to the coastlands to the Great Ruins to the Northern Steppes, but backwards. So again, backwards. Pre-journey hunter, confident predator fighter, knowledge-curious hunter, storm-tested individual, experienced traveller, transformed survivor understanding her place. It's like Bear Grylls. Oh no! Her gear's going to be completely cooked by the end of this story. So I guess in book 3 she's going to need a new utility belt or something. Alright, let's go. Let's do it. That's it. Safety's off. Write my book, damn it. You know what I mean? After this much effort. Yeah, true, Fernicar. It has to be good for the people. Yeah. It has to be good for the one making it to want to read it. Yeah. I would say if you're going to tell a story, it's, you know what I mean? Like, if I read the story back and it was bad, I just wouldn't bring it out. You know what? It's one time we were developing a video game, and we finished developing the video game, and we had a green light. We had a green light on Steam, and we were just a little indie team. We put the game together. It's not the one that is up. That's the second project. That's a different one. But basically what happened was it wasn't fun. Like, we got so into the whole building of the game. Like, it had all the features. It did all the things, you know. Like, if you made like a bullet point list of everything that should be in that type of game, it had all of the things. But when you actually play it, you're like, yeah, but why though? There's nothing here to make me want to play it. So basically it just wasn't fun. The way it was put together, it just wasn't fun. And we had two choices. Put the game out anyway and see if people like it, or shelf it. So I shelved it. You know? Because the fact is, you could play a game like Stellaris, and there's a point to playing it. You can feel the progression, even if you're not into that kind of game. You can't say that there isn't a game there. But when it's just like, it's got all the things, but, you know, it just didn't have that. There was something missing. And that's why whenever I design a game, I always try to implement some arcade DNA. So like Pac-Man or Asteroids. It's like, you look to the classics and you go, maybe we could, because when you think about it, Grand Theft Auto is actually a cross of Pac-Man and Frogger. Just stay with me on this one, okay? Because it was originally a top-down game. And so you think about it, you have a map of city roads and buildings. That's the Pac-Man map. The other cars, or when you're in car, they're the ghosts, and you're Pac-Man in the stolen car. Right, the police, they're ghosts, right? And then obviously they can eat you, you can eat them. You're going around a maze of roads and streets, right? It's more obvious in GTA 1. And then when it got to 3D, obviously if you're on foot So now you got two Pac-Man. Like you got Pac-Man on foot and Pac-Man could get in a car and the police will chase him. It's the same thing though, because obviously it's like the AI knows, they know where you are and they pathfind to you through a maze. That's Pac-Man. And then as far as Frogger is concerned, you know, driving in traffic is Frogger, except you are the cars. And then when you're on foot and you're having to run across the road, and it's Frogger. Every time you cross a road in GTA, it's Frogger. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, like how many times I can make it, and you get run over. Ugh. So it's like there's classic game loops, is what I'm saying. It's like there's classic game loops in the game, and it's like that's the secret, that's the spice. You know, it's like it's not just a game about crime, sim, and driving. There's more to it. It's like an onion. There's layers. But yeah, that's why I find it all very interesting. And that's why, like I said, I think if you're going to make a game, you got to have some kind of, it's got to have like some like arcade DNA in there. Otherwise, it's not really a game, is it? You just made a simulator. You know? You can make a simulator, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a game. Like I wouldn't call Flight Simulator, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, I wouldn't call that a game. Like you can actually train for a pilot's license with that thing, you know? And look, I haven't played the latest one. Maybe they've got some RPG elements in it now, I don't know. I bet they do. But I'm just trying to draw a contrast, you know? Okay. All I will say, if you've got Dirt Rally, you want to check out the Welsh Night stage. That's what I'm talking about. That's some real gaming right there. Okay. Especially when your headlights break. $1,000. There we go. Guess what, guys? Book's written. So let's see what do we get on page 1? Page 1 we have 11,000 characters. Page 2 13,000 characters. Page 3, remember these are chapters, 12,000 characters. Page 3 11,000. So it's coming in at 12,000, between 10 and 12,000 characters for each page. So what did I have on the page 5? 7,000. So for some reason the page I wrote is a lot shorter than the page yeah, but that doesn't matter because like I said, we got unified narrative operator which will double the length. Okay, and it's not all about length, but I do prefer to have more to work with so we can polish it down. All right, so I think that's pretty much it, guys. Like I say, don't forget to check out that rollerblading Laura, which is lots of fun. Like I say, you just make silly rollerblading edits. I am going to train Bales next, I believe. Next time I get 5 minutes, I'll download, segment, caption, and train because I've got falls compilations where it's just literally people falling over for 10 minutes. So I'll get a bunch of good ones and see if we can train him how to fall flat on his face. That should be fun. Aside from that, new workflows are all up in the GitHub. So if you want to grab those, you can find them there, or you can find them on the inside line. Don't forget to check out the prompt editing, the workflow with the cats. Oh, it's too slow, isn't it? Can't even play it. Useless. Anyway, so there it is. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 again. Same time, same place. See you there.